This version of It's Eric Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
Are you ready? I said, are you ready?
It's Eric Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Eric Nagel.
And thank you, Scott Shannon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. I am Eric Nagel, and joining me, as always, from the frozen tundra known as Arizona, say hello to Jordan.
Hey, everybody.
Let's see if we can get this going without a hitch, because every time we start, there's always some kind of complication. But you don't need to hear about that. What you do need to hear about is the fact that if you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, do us a kindness, put us in the #1 position on said app. We're told by corporate it means something. We have yet to see proof that it means anything. Well, it might to them. We haven't seen dime one from why that's in the preset, but whatever. We were told to tell you that. If you're on Apple, Spotify, any of those places, go over there and do us a kindness. Leave us a positive review. It does help out the program. You can join us live each and every week as we do said program on our YouTube channel and our Twitch channel. That's the place to be to enjoy the program and interact live, all under It's Eric Nagel. We have the memberships going. We had a bunch of people sign up last week, hopefully even more this week and the following week, etc. It's like the tell two friends thing. We got to bring that back in a big, big way. So yeah, we got the subscriptions going on over there for the YouTube channel. We'll talk about bonus content that's coming in just a moment. Mm-hmm. And look, if you can't do the live stuff, can't do the audio podcast, you just want to watch this whenever you can, we get it. The YouTube channel is always going to be there for you. You can have the past episodes, best of clips, all of that fun stuff is all there available for you to consume to your heart's content. Now, we got to speed through the rest of this because our first guest is here and we don't want to leave him waiting. The bonus material, the first bonus show for the new members will be coming this weekend. So you'll have the episode that we're doing right now. If you're a member, you get it right away when it's available. Everybody else gets it the day after. So that's part of the perks. But the bonus episode, which you can only watch and get if you're a member to the channel, there is coming. Jordan, I think it went very well.
I think it was very fun, very interesting. It was one of the very few things that we've done in one take. Mm-hmm. It was a one-take type situation.
We were one-take Jakes for the first time ever, I think.
It was fantastic. Program. Yeah, no, it was great. We did we did a good amount of work there. It was new stuff for me as well. So like it was fun to experience new content on my end, and stuff that we did. So yeah, it was very nice.
Guest joining us.
Special guest joining us who also does a lot of content, and that just makes me realize I'm happy we're going to do all this stuff for you. I realize it's going to be a full-time job.
It is.
Yeah.
You finally are understanding why things take forever and why there's a lot of time, especially when you're doing it yourself and you don't have the whole production crew like you used to have.
No, we're going to have a lot of content coming.
The new bonus episode is going to be a lot of fun. And look, I know a lot of people have been saying, hey, you have that archive. Why not go back and review old O&A stuff? And I've been fighting it and I've been resisting it. I'm like, I don't think anyone cares about the old show anymore. I know it was on for 20 years, but I don't think anybody cares about the old show that we were on. And turns out I'm wrong. Yep. A lot of people constantly have been telling me you need to do more review stuff with the older material. So this might be a step in that direction with the new bonus content. To find out what it is, subscribe right now. There's a link in the bio right here to on how to join, and also to do that thing to get gifted memberships. If anybody is in the chat and decides to give memberships to the chat, there's a link right there that shows you how to make your YouTube account available to receive a gifted membership.
Yeah, gift that membership, make them hooked on it like a nice street drug of some kind.
Yes.
And then they'll start paying and then I get more money. So
I am looking forward in the upcoming days, maybe weeks, to hear from the iHeart people. What is all this YouTube stuff that you're peddling now? Well,
wait a minute.
If you want to come to the table and throw us more money to shut the hell up, we'll do that. But until then, our agreement says we can do that. So you're going to have to be one big commercial outlet for our other ventures. Okay. So that's that. Over 6,400 on the YouTube and growing. I'd like to be 10 million strong and growing, but that's Flintstones chewables. But we will get there one day. So we have all of that. Coming up later in the program, our friend Brian Shea, one of the head execs from Game Informer magazine, pretty much the only mainstream, it's almost the Bible now of the video game industry.
Yeah.
They're the only like journalist outlet left in this crazy world. He'll be back on the show talking about gaming and other stuff that he's been up to. He's been in Japan a lot, and I, for one, have a bone to pick with him about said trip to Japan. So he'll be coming up a little bit. Next week on the show, our old pal and former co-host, Lisa Correo, is going to be on promoting her brand new comedy special that's coming out, produced by Patton Oswalt, by the way.
It's going to be good.
So she'll be on the show next week, and I think Luby's coming by next week, too.
Nice. Look at that.
Wow.
Like I said, you guys get what you pay for.
Right.
And what you pay for is other people talking, so we can't talk as much.
Actually, pay everything so everyone else talks, and so Jordan and I can just sit here and not do a thing and reap all rewards from it.
We get enough people on. It's like it's a whole different show, and we don't even really have to do anything.
Correct. I think we covered everything. We'll get to all of our other show stuff later because our first guest is here, and I'm very excited about this because I've been talking to him for a while. The man is very busy and had other things happening, as the kids say, IRL, that were preventing him from coming on, but we've cleared the way and he's able to do it now. Now, the reason why I'm excited, and I'm going to give you a little hint before I announce, well, if you saw the previews online, you know who it is. But for the radio people who didn't see all that stuff, the reason why this is very exciting, because many, many years ago, who knows, months, wasn't years, but a long time ago, we started featuring a clip often that just, I don't care if it made the audience laugh. I enjoyed it as a part of nostalgia, but how hilarious this was. This was the clip right here.
Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look. It's in my book. Reading rainbow.
Now, we played that.
One of my favorites.
all over the place. And then
all the time.
That gentleman expanded his catalog, and we were featuring all the stuff there. Like doing DuckTales.
This looks like a job for me, cause everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me.
Like that, I mean, it just goes on and on.
It goes on and on.
He did
the tornado in Parma. It's up with you look at
I mean,
yeah. Then you know what? I think they get it.
I don't care if we do the rest of the show. I'm just going to play the entire soundboard of Arnold songs.
But we have the physical soundboard waiting, wanting to hang out, wanting to talk to us.
I know. I'm pumped. It's called hyping up the guests.
They are hyped.
Please say
He's
hello.
Sitting there dancing around his own product. Let's do this.
To the man most people know as Arnold, but to the rest of the world, Mr. Richard Zuniga. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello. Let's get down and let's do it for you right now. Let's just get right out of the gate and line them all up and let's go. Let's go, baby. Hurry. Let's go.
This guy, I don't know how he got into my algorithm last year, but I'm so glad that he did because he was an immediate follow. Not only for the Arnold stuff, the man is a jack of all trades. He's one of California's bravest. He's a firefighter out there in Southern California.
Nice.
He's an artist. He does it all. He loves Disney. He likes the Dodgers, but we'll give him a pass on that because I mean he lives out there. Exactly. But other than that, I just fell in love with the guy's content. I was following him all over the place. He does live streams. He's got a new podcast out for everybody to check out called Get to the Podcast. Which is a fantastic name. You can get it out on Spotify right now. Richard, thank you for coming on the show finally. It's great to have you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, we've been chasing each other. Phone tag isn't a thing because nobody leaves voicemails anymore, but I guess we were email tagging each other.
Or some would say crept into the DMs, if you will, because I was like, I don't know how to contact him. I'm just going to DM the guy and say, hey, look, this is what we'd like to do.
Like, hey,
and he was with it. Yeah.
The things I get in my DMs, I don't even want to begin.
Yeah. Thank you for at least, acknowledging him long enough to come on here.
Yeah, well, he has something to offer, and it's within the ballpark that I work in. So whenever I don't care if you have a 2 followers or 2,000 followers or 2 million. If we're playing the same game and we're in the voice radio kind of performative era, then we're going to work with each other.
Depending on the week, we could be 2 followers, 2,000, 2 million. I mean, each episode is hit or miss in today's day and age. It's hard to keep a consistent audience unless you've got an amazing name or a branded platform where it's just going to constantly get those numbers. You know the struggle, sir. You are a content creator, self-made yourself, and you know the struggle and the joy of seeing the numbers go up, seeing the people subscribe, seeing the people recognize you in real life and say that they enjoy your work.
Absolutely. It's a dream come true. I came up on the internet in 98, 99 with AOL and AOL Messenger and MSN Messenger. And I was a huge, I love the internet. I love tech. I'm a big nerd. I've always been an audio video guy. So I see the true potential in what's going on with YouTube and social media and the things that we could do with it, the people that we could reach. And I was just waiting for that one something to hit. And I've had some hits before, but it wasn't really stuff that I wanted to do constantly, because my advice to anyone out there that's trying to get viral or consistent, you have to do something that you like doing, because you're going to have to pump it into the algorithm daily, multiple times per day in order to get any traction. So for me, hitting with Arnold was fantastic because I love action movies. I love the 80s. I love nostalgia. And there's just so much that comes with Arnold as a brand that I could work with.
I think we're like around the same age. And I guess that because I was looking at your Instagram and you did a thing around Christmas time where you were posting Christmas photos from past up until till now with your family. Mm-hmm. And some of the things you saw, I was jealous then, and I'm jealous now that you had as a kid, because he had the flag, the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier that I never got. I had friends that had it.
Yep.
I got, I guess, was a concession from my parents. I didn't get the giant aircraft carrier, but I got the hovercraft and that big black jet that had the small black jet on it. It was a Cobra thing. I had those.
I had the Blackbird, and then I had the Tomcat.
Oh,
I always liked the planes.
Yeah. I didn't have the helicopter either, because they had the two propeller Tomahawk thing. But I saw that and I'm like, this guy had a great childhood. He had the aircraft carrier from G.I. Joe. And then your thrill of opening up a Nintendo 64, which I don't think, and I'm not saying this like it was better back in our time, because it was better back in our time, but I don't think kids have that kind of thrill of opening up a video game system anymore. Like, it meant something back in the day when I opened up a Nintendo, a Super Nintendo. Then, you know, as you went through the generations, you're like, oh my God, this is fantastic. It comes with a controller. It comes with a game. Now you don't even get that. You got to spend like $800 for the console. You got to spend another $80 for the controller. Maybe, you know, your parents had enough to get you a game. It's just not the same anymore.
Well, the smell of opening up a Super Nintendo, I will never forget the smell. It's very specific kind of plastic mixed with the foam that they use.
Styrofoam, yeah.
Yeah, there was something about that distinct smell. And every once in a while, I'll open up a new toy, you know, one of my expensive, you know, audio video equipment, and it has that smell in it, and it takes me right back to the Super Nintendo on Christmas morning. Mm-hmm. N64 didn't quite have the same smell. For some reason, I don't know why, it just stuck with me, but I know what you mean. And luckily, I opened that N64 on Christmas Eve, so I was able to run to Toys R Us to get an adapter. It didn't come with the RF adapter with the gray square in between to
cable.
One.
Oh,
wow! Come with the coax one, and I didn't have a VCR on my TV to put the 3-pronged, the red, yellow, and white cables in. Mm-hmm. So that was the struggle. Then was if you didn't have the right cable to connect to the TV, you're screwed. You would have had to wait till the next day. But luckily, Mom let me open that one on Christmas Eve, and we got to run to Toys R Us real quick so I could play Wave Race and Shadows of the Empire on launch day.
Wave Race 64. Wow. And yeah, Shadows was great because like huge Star Wars nerd. And I'm just like, oh, so this is before, like between Empire and Jedi. What the hell? And yeah, I played through that entire thing probably within the first week of me getting it as well.
We were starved for Star Wars content at the time.
Uh-huh.
Starved for it. And George Lucas and Lucasfilm and LucasArts came out with Shadows of the Empire to bridge the gap to kind of get us excited for the special editions and then the prequels that were eventually going to come. So for that to come out and to have a story arc, it was we bought in, as at least I did. I love that game.
Yeah, me too.
Man, I'm trying to remember the 64 I got, and then I was all excited, and then on the news, Princess Di had died, and I'm like, I want to play the 64, but everyone's watching television, and I can't. All right, I guess I gotta wait.
Yeah, you got to fight for the TV.
Yeah, I got to fight for the TV for that. The Arnold voice. When did you realize you could do it, and what was the Arnold property that stood out for you to start the impression?
The first Arnold movie I saw was Twins on VHS because rental was huge.
Right.
And
that's a weird starting point for Arnold. That's good.
Yeah. So as when I was younger, I was more into cartoons like He-Man and Thundercats, Voltron,
right?
Ninja Turtles, huge with Ninja Turtles. But I was a big Saturday morning cartoon kind of programming. Pee-wee was huge. Elf, stuff like that. Wasn't too big on movies until probably the 90s. So I was born in 82. I'm going to be 44 this year. I saw Twins because of my cousins, and then a little bit of Total Recall, but I was way too young, and I was watching some pretty violent and vulgar things when I was way too young, but that's the way things were back then too.
That's all of us. Yeah.
I saw Basic Instinct when I shouldn't have, because it was on HBO. So
RoboCop was another one that I had no business watching, but hey, I turned out just fine. So, but anyway,
that one messed me up. Yeah, that one was my start of this can get real bad, and yeah,
exactly.
Downhill from there.
So when Kindergarten Cop was coming out, that was the first Arnold movie that I got to be excited about because I was introduced to him through VHS, and that was a new, fresh property that I can go see in the theater. And my parents were like, "You love Arnold? We got to go watch this movie." That was the first Arnold movie I saw in the movie theater. We saw it on opening day on a Friday, and I walked out of the theater immediately in love. I thought this guy was big, he was strong, he was imposing, he was a man, but also he was funny, and he had comedic timing, and he was patient with kids. And there was a duality I saw with Arnold that I didn't see in any other kind of performer. And that's what drew me in. Sure, he did Predator and Conan and Terminator, and those are great. Those are great movies. But the movies where he's being funny and vulnerable is, to me, the ones that stand out. So I immediately started memorizing the lines. We bought it on VHS, and I would go to school and I would do skits of Arnold starting from Kindergarten Cop. And I had always done it. It always got a good reaction, but it wasn't until high school when Batman and Robin came out. When Batman and Robin came out, that was full circle. That's when I fully embraced.
Yeah.
Yes, that's when I saw how ridiculous Arnold could be, and that was the secret sauce, was to mix. Sure, there's I'll Be Back and Get to the Chopper. Sure, everybody knows that, but there is so much value in what killed the dinosaurs, the Ice Age.
Yeah, those ham-handed puns. For me, it was that long pan. They don't do this anymore, but those long pan establishing shots where you hear the person, but they're not on the screen. Like they're just showing you the setting before they get to the person. He's in his ice lair and he's singing Snow Miser, where he's just like, I miss the white
Christmas. I miss the snow. Sing louder, louder, sing.
Yeah. That's all that saved that movie for me, because that movie was ridiculous. The first one I saw was Commando, and it was because it had Alyssa Milano in it, and she was hot from Who's the Boss. But I think Kindergarten Cop was the one I saw in movie theaters as well, and that was the movie I was quoting for the longest time. I know everyone does I'll Be Back and Hasta La Vista and some of the other ones, The Chopper, but I would always sit there like, who is your daddy and what does he do? And there is no bathroom. Like that. Yep. Those lines were the ones that stood out to me the most.
Yep.
I find it actually really interesting. Like when everyone thinks about Arnold Schwarzenegger, they immediately go to the action movies, but your introduction was his comedies. Like no one ever thinks I love Arnold because he's funny. I think of you're right. I think my first movie I ever saw him in was Terminator, and then Hercules in New York, because I was a huge Cannon Films just
Yeah.
nerd. Like I love canon films and how bad they are. I think the first movie I ever saw Arnold in the theater would be T2. You know, and it's because I never got to go to the theater to watch any Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. And by the time T2 came out, I think I was like 10. And at that point, everybody was getting to go to see that movie.
Right. That was the next one.
That was it.
That was the next one. And my dad said, hey, before we go see T2, you have to see T1. So we rented T1. Yeah. Excellent. Still to this day, love Terminator 1. Excellent. We go to see Terminator 2 in the movie theaters again on opening day. Mm-hmm. And dude, I was around the same age, 9 or 10 years old. Holy crap. It was the people in the theater were, the stunts and the
it was a spectacle. It was so cool.
Dude, nothing like it ever before. Nothing like it will ever be again. And being able to see that in the theater and experience it with a sold out audience was awesome. It was huge.
Have you, with your uncanny ability to nail this particular character, I know you do other characters too, but for this one that really blew up in the last couple of years, have you either thought to seek out or have been approached to do like ADR or to do the voice for animated stuff, video games, any of that stuff approach you?
I have, yeah, I did. The first one was it was AI. It was an AI project, but at the time, and even still now, AI voice cannot be reduplicated. AI voice is still very robotic and it's still stiff. You cannot beat a normal person with vocal inflections, and and I come from an acting theater background, so I give it a lot of extra oomph. It's not just the voice; it's a lot of moving around. You see, I talk with my hands and stuff like that. So there's more to it than just the voice. So. This AI project, they were making all the visuals with AI, but they needed the voices to be organic. So they brought me in for that. They had a premiere in Santa Monica at an old movie theater, and I hosted it. I got to go up there and do a little stand up, and I did trivia, and so I got to use all my skills on that one. And it was awesome to see my name on a big screen, for this project doing voiceover work. And you can, it's called Our T2 Remake. And if you just type in Our T2 Remake on Google, you will be able to, they'll give you the instructions on how to watch it for free. The second time was with a new show that's on YouTube starring Flula Borg. He's from like Suicide Squad. And, he's a great voice actor. He does voice.
He's very German.
Yes, very German. It's his whole shtick.
Very German.
So he approached me to be on his YouTube show where it's he plays like a big floating head, and it's called Neon Dimension. And I went into the set in Burbank, and I'm like, as a movie nerd, holy crap, I was freaking out with directors and producers and
that's awesome.
Catering and Flula's, he's a very famous actor. So sweet dude, went in there, fit right in, did some improv, and they made me into a little digital 8-bit Arnold that I was kind of harassing the contestants. It's like a game show, but it's super cool. Yeah. It's on YouTube, and it's called Neon Dimension, and they're on season 3. Hopefully we're going to do some more projects with them too.
I'll have to check that out. I've been going through The Rookie with Nathan Fillion, and I just got past, I think, a couple episodes where Flula was doing some guest spots. And it's just like, he's just got that voice, and he's just super German about it. Doesn't shy away from it. It's him. He is his own character in everything I've ever seen him in, even in Suicide Squad. So like, that's really cool. I like that. He's
a real sharp guy. So, and he's super funny. So when I was doing my thing and doing Arnold and interacting with the guests and improvising and making him laugh, I was elated. It was really cool.
With these projects, have you ever been approached by Arnold himself about your impression of him? Like, he's never really reached out, never said anything? Never. Oh, I would love to see what his thoughts on this.
That's the first question everybody asks is have you met Arnold? And that's never been my goal. I didn't start the social media to be like, hey, day 1 of 3,000 and until Arnold replies. I think that's kind of lame. Yeah. I'm in this for more of a long game. I majored in radio and TV broadcasting, and I did acting in high school, and I've always been naturally gravitated to performing. So I saw social media as an outlet to allow me to do that. So that's what I do.
But you're not going to turn it down if he reaches out.
Hell no. I don't know. But at the same time, I don't want to like, I have to put it out there where I'm not going to pay $100 at a convention to meet him for 5 minutes with that lame background and
right.
I'm not here for that. If I'm going to meet him, definitely I would approach him about projects I have, ideas I had, and have him as a collaborator or get his blessing or as a producer on an animated idea. I have so many ideas I have in my head, and I would want to work with him in a prolonged basis, kind of like Chris Tucker and Michael Jackson, kind of that kind of relationship. I totally see that in my future.
Here's how I picture it. One day I'm just going to open up Instagram and I'm going to see either a photo or a video of him and Arnold with those big, long, ridiculously long cigars that Arnold likes to smoke. They're in his kitchen where he has those farm animals walking around because, you know, like he's got goats and ponies and stuff in his house. Yeah, he's just going to be handing it, like he's got the cigar here, handing a carrot to the donkey, and the two of them are just going to be sitting there in the kitchen, and I'm going to be like, all right, now the flag was one thing to be envious of this guy. Now he's just pushing it. Now I have to consider it.
Oh, and the audience wants that so bad. I know the audience wants it so bad that people would be so satisfied with that. So
people love that kind of success story, especially it's like, you know, it's not like you haven't been working at this stuff for a long time, but you kind of came out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden you're right up there because Arnold now finally recognized you and knew who you were. That's what people. It's almost like a wrestling angle. You worked your way up, and then you finally got there. This great, amazing opportunity between the two of you to hang out and maybe even work together at some point.
The people's champion right here. But yeah, I would, dude, trust me, I would not turn it down. It would be awesome, and we will be right there smoking our stogies wherever we want because we are policy and not like you.
I love the line when you just go, get your pump on, because it's just such an obscure Arnold line, but he nails it so perfectly. Sorry, Jordan, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, you've got the theater background. You got all this stuff. You're very creative. Obviously, you've got everything going on. What made you want to be a firefighter other than knowing that none of this pays?
Because fireman pays the bills.
There you go.
That is what, when people say thank you for your service, I respond and say thank you for your tax dollars, because I go to work to make money. And as soon as they stop paying me, I'm not going to work there anymore. And that's just the bottom line. I am there to provide a service. I do have pride. I do care about my community. And I think the biggest attraction for the being a fireman was that I can be part of the community and be a positive member of the community and a contributing member of that. That is the number one allure to me. Is there's a lot of hours. I just got done working 96 hours straight, where we respond to some very interesting reasons why people would call 911, but I have to set my personal opinions aside and provide a service because I am a member of the community, and they look to me for answers, and I like being that guy. I'm a problem solver. I think of myself as a pretty smart dude, and I like to give back. I was raised to give back to my community. So that translates to the Instagram, because the Instagram's a community, and I want to provide people that are nostalgic for the 90s and action movies and Arnold an avenue and a way to remember. And people are teaching their kids. People are showing my account to their kids. Their kids are loving it, and they're asking their parents, who's this Arnold guy? And they're watching Jingle All the Way together, now with their kids. And I think that's awesome. And if that's all that comes out of this, then I've won. And we've built such a cool community. It's getting even bigger, especially with the podcast and the YouTube coming up. So this is an unlimited opportunity, and I'm stoked to be a part of it.
I have a question from our pal, Hollywood agent.
Our agent.
Yes. What came first, the firefighter job or the mustache?
The mustache, because my family is deep with mustache lore.
Oh, really?
My dad has a picture of my great grandpa. Looks like a picture taken in like at Knott's Berry Farm with the Wild Wild West era, but it's an actual picture from the Wild Wild West era. And he has a big tombstone, like mustache, like mine. My grandpa had one. My dad was a fireman, and he had one. And now I'm continuing the tradition. So,
look at that.
That's awesome.
I wanted to ask you about. Because I'm sure I know you appreciate the Arnold. I know you appreciate everybody finding you, gravitating you because of the Arnold impersonation. I know there's probably times you're sick of doing it. Yep. Every voice guy, we've talked to plenty of voice guys in our time doing the show. from like Billy West and Rob Paulson and all of them. When there's time, they love their characters. They so appreciate, but there are times where like, yeah, there's times where I'm sick of doing Yakko Warner, or there's times I'm tired of doing this thing there. Have you hit that point yet?
Absolutely.
You have? Okay.
I hit that point in high school where, in high school, I did an improv comedy. I was in an improv comedy team called Comedy Sports. And we would go to different schools and compete and do improv games, kind of like Whose Line Is It Anyway? But it was like a sports competitive theme. And I would bring in the jocks because they loved my Arnold. And every time that I would do a show, I would have water polo and football and baseball guys there at the show going, do Arnold, dude, come on, do Arnold. So at that point, I already knew it was going to be a thing, and it was going to get old. But as far as on Instagram, yeah, holy crap, because it's we're at 640,000 followers right now, and
only,
yeah, and
we're getting there.
All you need is an email to get on social media. So the messages I get, the questions I get, the interactions I get are rough to be nice, for the most part. Every once in a while, someone sneaks through, like you guys or Flula or who have you that actually has something that I want to work with. But for most of the messages that I get, it's rough on social media, dude.
I've had to explain that to my almost 15-year-old daughter and my 10-year-old son, where like they're growing up in the digital age now. We were kind of that middle ground. We were very analog. We had VHS, all this stuff, and they're all digital. So my son is like, I want to be a YouTuber. I was like, no, you don't. And he's like, no, I want to play video games. I was like, no, you don't. My daughter wants to get on social media. And I was like, it's the worst place you'll ever be. But it's necessary for things that we do. But I'm not letting you on there. It's a pit of 99% of the worst people you'll ever interact with that small 1% that'll help support you. But it's just not enough. Yeah. And it's so hard to balance that with them.
100%.
And it's amazing too, that now it's become more of a requirement than your actual skills. Mm-hmm. For certain jobs, it's like, well, what's your social media following? What's your reach? What's your branding? And you go, okay, it's not what some of these other people are, but I can do all of this other stuff. Like they don't even look at some cases like, this guy's an amazing producer. This guy's amazing with production. This guy's amazing with all this stuff here. Yeah, but he's only got like 2,000 followers on TikTok or Instagram. And it's like, that doesn't qualify this. Like that's can be worked on. But there aren't people who can do this, or there's not a lot of people who can do this. That's the value. And a lot of companies aren't in that mindset anymore. It's like, well, I had a thing, and Jordan knows this story. I think like 5 years ago, a company out in LA reached out and they needed somebody to manage their network and a bunch of I think they only had maybe half a dozen to a dozen programs on their network. And they needed somebody to oversee this stuff, new talk programming, and that's how to build this, how to coach the people. It's fine. I got on the meeting with them, and the whole meeting started with, it's like, well, you're not present enough on your own social media. What are you talking about? Well, you're not doing a lot of this stuff. You're not doing these videos. You're not doing that. And your number count's not, it's okay here, but it's not higher over here. I go, the job doesn't mean that. It's like the job is this, not that. And then I realized, they're looking for people who could do that job secondary. They wanted like, you've got a presence. We can hire you. You can promote what we're doing, and then we'll fix everything as we go.
Yeah, you got it. You figured it out.
Yeah. And I said like, all right, well, best of luck to you. You're not going to find what you're looking for. And I hung up the meeting on that stuff. And that's to this day. And that's only like 6 years ago now. But that sat in my brain. I go, that's where we're at now. Most of these things, it's like that. It's what you look at. It's the show. It's the presentation first. Then whatever the knowledge, the skills to back it up is a distant second at this point. If they can't see money right on you right away, you're worthless to everybody.
That's tragic. And I've run into the same exact thing on my end. I have the numbers. So I have the numbers. I have the skills. I can perform. I have discipline, all of that good stuff. And
you have the stash too. I'll have to tell you, I would hire you just for the Tom Selleck stash.
That's the secret. Once I shave this thing off, all the powers go away. This is the kryptonite.
That's your Samson. Yeah.
But what I did notice is a lot of companies are lazy and they do hire a social media manager for peanuts. And that social media manager reaches out to me to do their job for them, which is not what I'm here to do. Now, if this product is good, like the chair I'm sitting on, they send me these chairs. Cool. I will promote it. This hat I got sent. Cool. I promote it. It's a good brand. I will do that. But if we don't have a good working relationship, we don't have a good synergy, we're not able to collab, organically together. What's the point? And for me, like I said, building a community and having good conversations with the people I'm collaborating with, that's all. That's all that there is to it. It doesn't matter how many views it gets. It doesn't matter how much reach it gets. All that matters is that we have fun while we're making the content.
Well, and it's the old adage of a rising tide raises all ships. It's a community. I mean, I know there's a lot of shows out there, a lot of podcasts, but when you get a lot of people together, very creative people, you're on the show now, you're going to, be part of this. We're helping you. We're helping us. Like, it's nice to see people collaborate and not just be backstabby, numbers people. And it's nice to see that stuff.
And you got to know, to anybody listening that's trying or wants to do or just watch yourself out there, because it exposes you to more opportunity, but social media also exposes you to a lot of, I'm trying to not use colorful language, but it exposes you to a lot of people that are vultures that will want things for free from you, that want to drain the energy from you. And you have to be able to recognize and say no. You have to be an adult and a business person enough to say no to 99% of the projects that come across, because doing things for clout or doing things for I owe you one or this and that, it on social media, no, it's a heck no.
Yeah, especially when you have, like, if you're just starting out, look, you got to take chances and roll the dice and, like, all right, I'll do some things for free, or I'll do things what I thought was on good faith, just to see if there's a connection made, if it networks with some people, and doing this led me to other things. That's part of any kind of business. Then there's a lot of times where people know your worth, and they'll just say, well, I see the name, or I know the resume or whatever. He's probably going to be too much money, so we're not even going to bother talking to those people. Yep. Or they're just going to be like, well, let's see what we can get out of him before we even get to money. And if he's that desperate, or she's that desperate for this position or whatever, it's like, well, let's see what we can get out of them and use them and then we're like, oh yeah, it didn't work out, and then we already got what we needed.
Exactly.
We're in that time now where saying no most times means more than saying yes to anything. It's like sometimes it's good to miss opportunities because they were not the right opportunities.
Well, I mean, we've had that ourselves with certain advertisers wanting to come onto the show, and Eric's smart enough to realize, like, this is not going to be a benefit to us. This is going to help them out, and that's great. But in the long run, it's just not who we are. And that's you're right. Saying no is a smart thing.
Having an advertiser reach out and they said, look, we want to do business. We see your numbers and stuff. Let's work something out here. That's fantastic. Hey, and this is something TV shows and radio shows don't do. I like to talk to the guys who own the company. Yeah. It's like, hey, you approached us with it. Can we talk to you? Can you want to come on? Because those people usually are begging to get on shows or whatever. I was told by the guy's assistant, well, he's going to be busy for the next several months, so I don't think we're going to have that. I go, well, then I don't think we can do business with each other. I'm sorry about that. Best of luck in your future endeavors and all that. And they were like, okay, no problem. I'm like, they didn't even flinch. How serious was this business deal to begin with? I offered the owner of the company to come on to talk about this, and I was told he doesn't have time. Anytime something like this comes on, if Colbert or Fallon said, McDonald's is putting out, making some new changes for 2026, and the CEO just put out a video where he looks terrible. It looks so stiff and like he's a terrible actor about this new sandwich that they're putting out. If they said, hey, we want the CEO to come on, he'd be there in New York the next day to be on that show at that level. This guy's down here and you're saying no? All right. Best of luck to you, and let's see how it works out. Yeah. I don't want to waste too much of your time. I just had a couple more questions for you. The Arnold thing, obviously the biggest thing. What popped? What was the thing that you saw or resonated with a lot of people that was starting to gain traction? And you said you also had other things that blew up that were not Arnold related. Could you tell those as well?
Yes. So, I want to say like 5 years ago ish. I did have a podcast. It was a fireman podcast. It's what I know. I said, hey, I'm going to give back to the fireman community. There's a lot of kids that hit me up on Instagram asking for like interviews for firefighters. Very hard. Where do I start? just general knowledge about the fire department. I said, hey, if I could post this on a website or a social media, they can go there and it'll be a wealth of knowledge for them for free. I make good money. I'm doing well. I'm happy. Why not give back some of my knowledge? That was a huge mistake because firemen online, we're really, really not very nice to each other. And I learned the hard way. And then when I would go to work, people would ask me, how come you're coming to work? Aren't you making all this money? And I'm like, no, I'm losing money doing this. This is just a venture for me. And there was just a lot of misunderstanding as to why a fireman would want to go online and give back for free. Oh, that we're at this point in society where giving back to the community is what? You're weird. You're a weirdo. Why are you doing that?
Because it's not profitable and it doesn't translate to like social media stuff. So
yeah, but I was just say, screw it. I'm bored and I like this stuff. Why not work on my hobby and give back while I do it?
Mm-hmm. I don't think they like the title "Hot Pants and Long Rants," so maybe it was just one of those things that they just didn't like.
Yeah, it was intimidating to a lot of people. It was a mess, and I dealt with a lot of weird stuff. And
that's odd.
So I got onto TikTok to promote the podcast, and then a lot of people overseas started saying I look like some character named Braum from a video game called League of Legends, and he had a very basic Russian accent. So I started replicating the accent because I'm good at doing voices. And I started I have a bald head. He looked a lot like me with the mustache. And I exploded on TikTok at like almost 700,000 followers in like 6 months on TikTok doing this character. And that is, again, another thing that taught me I'm doing this character and I don't care anything about it. And I don't really like doing this content. I don't know who this character is. I don't know why I'm doing this character. People loved it. It was successful, but I wasn't happy. And that's when I said, all right, I need to find something that I enjoy doing and I can replicate it over and over and over without problem. And luckily, I started a tattoo page. This is it's all a bunch of random stuff. I started doing tattoos and I started tattooing because I love being an artist. And somebody said, absolutely. Here, I'll take off my hat. And then you could really see the resemblance. But
we have a lot of video game fans in the audience. So yeah, as soon as you said that, it's blown up. Like, yes, he does look like him.
There you go. So I pulled that exact picture on TikTok and I put it and I put the green screen and I went like this and I went, stand behind Braum. The heart is the greatest muscle. And I would do those voices all the time. So we had the same exact mustache. But I didn't care about the character. And I knew I couldn't replicate this. And people wanted me to go to like these gaming conventions, and I would have loved doing that, but I don't know who this character is, and I didn't want to bother to learn.
Right.
So I started a tattoo page. I was doing tattoos, and this is when Reels started really blowing up on Instagram. Short form video. I'm really good at that. I'm an editor. So one day I'm driving home, and I said, "Screw it." Dane Cook started following me. The comedian Dane Cook started following me.
I know Dane. Yeah.
I got super excited. I loved his comedy. He was a big inspiration for me in high school where I was doing my Arnold impression a lot. So I go, shoot, I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I'm going to do an Arnold impression video. And I did one in my car where I go, no one can scream quite like Arnold Schwarzenegger. When he leaps, the leap of faith. Put them all together. And it got 6 million views in like a week. And when that happened, game over. I said, this is it. I love Arnold. I know everything about Arnold. I know exactly what to do with this. And I pumped out probably 5 to 7 videos every single day for a year. And here we are.
Man, I mean, it just goes to show when you see those things on TikTok and Instagram where there's like, we'll show you, it's like, here are the 5 things you're doing wrong when you're posting a video. And they're trying to sell you a course of how to do these things and these techniques to like how you'll get 20,000 followers in a month and all. And maybe, I don't know. It always seems sketchy to me, but it's always the story. And I love hearing that, the stories of something you love, something you're passionate about does eventually translate to people who are receptive to those kind of things where you put that out. I mean, yeah, you had I don't want to say a fluke, but you had you stepped into something with that Braum character and it worked, but you realized I can't keep doing this. This isn't for me. You went in your own direction. I'm like, take what I learned from there, make it into something that I like doing. And if it hits, great. If it doesn't, I still enjoy doing it. I don't care what's going on. And you nailed it and you got it. The Arnold thing blew up. But then people started to see, oh, he does Peter Griffin. He does all these other voices. Then you started sitting there and you were drawing like comic book covers and that you're an artist and stuff, which, by the way, I found out we have a mutual friend that you're going to be playing golf with soon. He goes by Deep Sea Homer. He's an animator for The Simpsons.
Yes. Yeah. He's rad. Yeah. You know him?
Yeah, I asked Mike. I was like, "Do you want to come on?" He's busy. They're doing stuff right now. When I gave him the link, I said, "We're having him on." He goes, "I know him. We're supposed to play golf soon." So.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, he drew me as a Simpson, and it was awesome. Yeah, those are the kind of that's the kind of stuff social media really shines with. You know, we
he did.
Yeah,
we just my kids
nice
too.
to people, you know, and keeping the communication. It's like everyone, look, we can be critical on the show here too. It's part of our job. We talk about things in the world. We'll scream about McDonald's, how terrible McDonald's is, and others. We take the passion of what people put in real life about politics and world situations, and we bring it down to the lowest level that you should not be that angry about, just because it's fun to do it that way. When you start talking to people and just tell me about you, and you make these friendships, and it's bizarre when you look back and you go, I can't believe I'm connected to this person through that. You don't even see the path till later on when you look back. Mike did a bunch of stuff. This was the poster he did for our 10-year anniversary.
Heck yeah, dude. I love that.
Yeah. So when I told him, I said, we have the Arnold guy coming on, and he goes, oh, I'm supposed to play. I'm like, of course you know him now. Like, so it's just fun how vast the world is, yet really the community can be very small and very connected together.
It is.
I'll end with this because I was seeing on your live stream, I was in your live stream the other day, and you were talking about video games and stuff, which, by the way, I still recommend Sea of Thieves. And if you like the horror games, Phasmophobia is one of my favorite too.
Okay, yeah, I love those. I love Resident Evil. I was raised on that.
They're perfect. There you go.
I saw the new commercial for that new one.
I got to meet the creator of Resident Evil at E3 back in 2002, back in the day, dude.
Oh,
that was awesome. He didn't speak a lick of English, but I was honored.
You said you're a big gamer. You were telling people about your passion for video games. You're obsessed with Batman Arkham Asylum. You're obsessed with games. He goes back, and he was just saying, he's like, I went back and played every level. I played it super hard. I went back to fix things that I got wrong. Like, he just kept going on about this game. Loves the Batman stuff. We're big fans of I'll say this, the Batman animated movies better than most of the Batman regular movies.
I agree.
Right?
I'll watch Mask of the Phantasm at least once a month if I want to. It's so good.
Heck yeah.
You talked about growing up with Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond. Big fan of Mark Hamill's Joker.
Yep.
You could do that voice too. You were showing people like that. The video game thing, obviously, through your life, getting it through Christmas and everything. Do you get the thing? It's a weird stigmatism right now. It's not like when our parents were older and they were like, oh, you're an adult and you play video games. Like, it was looked at as being weird. But we're in a generation that video games have been around since the late 70s. It's 40 plus years that video games have been here. It's not unusual. My mom played Farmville and Bejeweled and stuff on Facebook, whatever. So you're playing a video game. We're playing stuff now. To get that stigmatism still, do you get people giving you that shit? It's like, really? You're all about video games? When do you grow up? He's a fireman. He could do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah. I put it out there. I put off a scent. I like to say I put off a scent of leave me alone. I am very, very confident in who I am. I love who I am. I know who I am. And that's all that matters to me. And if anyone outside of this cocoon of a body that I have disagrees with that, hey, respect and love to them, but stay out of my area, please. If you are about what I'm about, you can come into my area and we can have a good time. You know what I mean? But I put in a lot of work to show how much of a goofball I am and how much I don't care about it. And like just Comic-Con alone, Comic-Con's ridiculous. If you think about it, I spent weeks building a costume with my own two hands. I wear the costume. I put contacts in. I dressed up as Mr. Freeze for LA Comic-Con a couple of years ago. And when I'm there, the reaction from people in the crowd, every single person loves it. Every single person's overjoyed. Everyone's happy, taking pictures. And in person, people really show you who they are. Online, people are full of crap. So I do get a lot of messages and like, hey, what are you doing? You're playing video games. You're an old guy. Who
cares?
You're full of crap. I know for sure you play video games too, and it just bothers that person that I'm so comfortable and confident sharing it. Really, really, that's the way I look at it.
Well,
I was going to say the next time you come on, we'll have to talk more video games and definitely Disney stuff because tomorrow's taking over.
Nice.
So the Iger level is out. We're going tomorrow, and we're going to have to probably get into that a little bit.
Even though replaced with the guy that came up with the whole Galactic Battleship, but that's the Starship Cruiser hotel thing.
They're not all winners.
But we'll see. I'm hopeful. They're making good changes, and that's a whole nother. I got all Star Wars tattoos on my arm. See that Grievous?
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, Darth Maul. Yeah. That's a topic for another day.
Yep. Another day. And we can also talk about the fact of the heads of current Star Wars were saying it's not about the old stuff. Everyone's tired of the old stuff. It's about bringing new people in there. Then what did you just do to the Star Wars attraction in Disney World there? Oh, you brought back the original trilogy characters in there. Why? Because people were not going to it.
Oh, I would live in that part of the section.
That's the message. Like what you like. Who cares what everybody else likes? Enjoy yourself. You're not harming anybody. Richard, thank you so much, man, for coming on the show. I want to give the plug for everybody here so that they can go and follow him and enjoy his work as much as we all do. It is right here. It is called Get to the Podcast. You can find it on Spotify. The YouTube channel is coming at some point, so keep a lookout for that. We'll let you know when it's up and running. But his main platforms, Instagram and TikTok at GeekFire Inc. That's where you can find the guy and go give him a follow, send him some love. Don't be one of those creeps in the DM. Send him some positive support in the comments, all of that stuff. That's what's important. I'm going to put you on the spot here. I'm going to ask you, can you, as Arnold, could you do an ID for our show? And just say Arnold, this is Arnold, do whatever you want. And then it follows with, and you're watching, it's Eric Nagel.
Hello, and this is your favorite internet Arnold. It, of course, is not the real Arnold for legal purposes. You are watching and or listening to It's Eric Nagel, not to be mistaken for Patrick Nagel, the fantastic 80s artist that did the cover to Duran Duran and all of these other things that running around and singing about. Get to the Eric Nagel!
I can't ask for more than that. That was fantastic.
Tell Brian we're done. We're gonna go. We're not doing any more show tonight.
Richard, thank you so much, man. Come back anytime. Add us to your Steam's friend list if you want. If you're up, I'm up till like 5 a.m. East Coast time. So
cool. He is, and he messages me, "Hey, are you up?" I'm like, what is this?
And it's not even for the sexy kind of stuff. It's like, hey, you want to hop on Fortnite? Hey, do you want to go and play Sea of Thieves? Something. So
I just got a ROG Ally that has it's a portable PC thing that has Steam on it. So, and I don't, my list is blank. So if you guys want, please add me so we can start geeking out on there. And I would love to play with you guys.
Yeah, we will.
We'll do.
And then send me those recommendations. And if there's multiplayer stuff, I'll jump on with you guys for sure. I love Fortnite.
Fantastic.
I was going to say, we get on with Mike. We'll all do it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right. Thank you, Richard. We'll take care. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks.
What a fantastic gentleman. Such a nice guy.
I just love like voice acting all together. It's like when we had Bergman on and he was just doing all the
Jeff Bergman,
yeah, just all that stuff. Just there's always a talent. I love it.
You just gotta love the positivity, but also the line in the sand and going, I'm not putting up with this shit. Here's the boundaries. A lot of people don't set the boundaries anymore because they're like, well, if I make too many limitations, I won't get people. No, these people won't talk to me. I won't get to these opportunities or whatever. And you go, no, here's what I'm about. Here's what I am allowing you into my life or to use me for these kind of things. These are the boundaries. I will I'll put my best foot forward for it. I'll put out positivity out there where I can, when I want to, and just being a cool person overall like that. They need more people like him. Plus he's a firefighter. So he's putting his life on the line every day, doing what he does. And look, he besides the Arnold impression, he got me at the mustache. Anyone who could pull off the Tom Selleck mustache nowadays is aces in my book.
Yeah, there's no chance I shave everything off except for that. I just couldn't do it.
You gotta do that. Wait. Do that.
Maybe for Halloween I'll do it.
Do his mustache. Do it.
We'll do it for Halloween.
Fantastic. All right. If you're watching the video, if you're listening on the radio, you can't do anything about it. But if you're watching the live stream now as we're doing this, or the video later on, hit the like button if you can. And if you haven't, get yourself a membership. It's only like $5 or something. You get archives. You get, look what I found.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you were wearing that Would You Kindly shirt.
It's collector's item, one of like 6, I think, that I had. We have the Would You Kindly archive is there for a membership, so you can go and get all that fun stuff.
And it's not just old stuff. We're making new content as we speak. Literally yesterday.
Bonus show coming this weekend. I think everyone's going to enjoy it. Yeah. All right, moving on. Our pal Brian Shea is here. Brian from Game Informer. Brian, how are you, my friend?
Well, hello there. I am doing great. How are you?
Good. You're a little bit loud. I'm going to see if I can fix your
audio. Do some voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What voices
what you got?
What voices can you do, Brian?
I can't do very many. It's me, Mario.
Nailed it.
Counts.
That's all I got.
That counts.
Look, you can lift the velvet rope. He's allowed in the club. He can do a voice. So,
hi, I'm the lawyer from Charles Martinet, and I'm going to have to ask you not to do that.
Did you know our guest Richard? Have you seen him online?
I've seen him online. I don't know him though.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect you to know him, but you know of his work.
You're not playing golf with him next week, like everybody else.
Everybody else seems to be doing that.
How do I follow a guy who does a pitch perfect Arnold impression like that?
It's
like, good Lord,
ridiculously.
You got to bust out a Stallone or Bruce Willis, my friend. You've got 5 minutes. Figure it out.
Just get out there. I
was going to say,
keep going the punches. I don't know. I
could probably do Bruce Willis now, and that's probably a lot easier.
Just stare off into
the distance,
into the void, and then hope for the best. Brian, it's been a while since you've been on the show, my friend. You were not supposed to, but we usually have Brian in around the holiday time, somewhere between Thanksgiving and Christmas, to do kind of a update of what's going on in the video game world, kind of giving you a gift guide, if you will, of things to be aware of, be it for console, be it for PC, Steam events, things like that. But Brian selfishly had to go and spend his holidays in Japan, which one, I was kind of jealous because I have yet to go to Japan. It's on my list, but he went right for Christmas time. I don't think Christmas is too big over there. I know they in the last few decades, they've been more accommodating with it, but I don't think it's as big over in Asia as it is in the rest of the world. Right?
No, in Japan in particular, it's mostly actually a couples holiday, where, basically it's just kind of like a romantic holiday for couples to walk around. There's a lot of like illuminations, they call them, like a bunch of like light installations around the city, and you're supposed to walk around, look at them, get a hotel room, and, just kind of hang out. And a lot of the families will get KFC is actually the big tradition. I was just
going to say, that's the big thing I saw this year. And I didn't know, but it was like, it was showing up online that Christmas time is a big KFC holiday. And it was just because somebody that worked for KFC, that was responsible for overseeing KFC over in Japan, figured out some genius marketing back in the early 70s that it eventually just became a holiday tradition. Like here we've got like the Swiss Colony beef log, that kind of thing. And over there it's like, hey, get your Christmas bucket of KFC that came with like socks and toys and all this other stuff in the bucket. Brilliant idea.
One of your commenters just said exactly what I was about to say, where you have to pre-order them like super far in advance in order to get KFC on Christmas Day. So I did not have KFC on Christmas Day. I was actually on a bullet train on Christmas Day, going from Tokyo down to Osaka.
Was the family mad that you were not home for Christmas?
No. I mean, the family lives in a different part of the country. They're out in Pennsylvania or Florida, depending on the time of the year. I guess in Christmas time, it's Florida, and I'm up in Minnesota. So, it's like an every other year thing that I see them anyway.
Right.
In terms of like for Christmas. But yeah, I mean, it was just kind of like a decision that my partner and I made. We're just like, yeah, we're going to head out to Christmas or head out to Japan for Christmas, because she was already going to be in Thailand for her master's that she's going for right now. She's doing an MBA. and they're doing they did a study abroad thing.
I thought it was like for Brazilian jiu-jitsu or something. She was going for her,
she did go to a Muay Thai
black belt.
Yeah, she did go to a Muay Thai stadium, and it looked super cool, and got to watch an event there. I was very jealous of that as somebody who has watched the UFC for 20 years now.
I'd be wilding out just to go because of Bloodsport.
Oh my God, right?
So cool.
Man,
this is where they shot Bloodsport. They still shoot
God.
Bloodsport here every year. You just don't know about it.
I haven't watched Bloodsport in far too long. It used to be an every 6 month thing for me watching Bloodsport. It's probably been a good 5 years since I've seen that movie, and it's about time for a rewatch.
I think Bloodsport was one of those movies where we always wax poetic about certain movies that that are so ingrained in our lives because we had HBO as a kid and they would just show them over and over. But when they started doing the spin-off channels, when you had Showtime, you had the movie channel. I think Bloodsport was one of the movie channel staples that was constantly. Yeah,
it was always on
Bloodsport
TV.
and Kickboxer. Yeah, those are the only two. And I for the longest time I thought they were the same movie. I mean, it's pretty much the same premise.
Might as well be. So selfishly, he went over to Japan and did not give a shit about his family, us, anything else that was going on, and tell everybody the reason why you went to Japan.
Well, I mean, multiple reasons, but the second night that we were there, I proposed to my partner, and you got the picture ready and everything. Yeah, you can see that is Tokyo in the backdrop there, and yeah, it was a good time. We just
was that before or after you guys rented adorable kimonos and did a photo shoot throughout Japan? Because I forgot. I was seeing some of that. I'm like, man, this guy's living a life I wish I had.
Yeah, that was before. That was the kimono rental was actually in Kyoto, which was about a week after that picture was taken. There we are. I think that's New Year's Eve in Shinjuku, or I'm trying to parse what part that is. But yeah, it was.
Look at this show.
Most of our listeners wouldn't know, so just make up a town. They wouldn't care.
Actually, that might be
Google mapping this.
That might be Osaka, because you can see the Billiken, which is the Japanese god of fortune, I think it is, and he was everywhere in Osaka. Nice. So that might be Shinjuku, or it might be Osaka. It looks like Golden. It looks like Dotonbori in Osaka, if I'm looking at it now.
Well, congratulations to the both of you. I'll let it slide this time. Don't be doing it again next year.
I'll do my best not to propose again instead of coming on It's Eric Nagel.
Yes, please be more considerate. I saw your social media stuff, and I got to bring this up. Something seemed a bit off on one of the photos that he posted, and I wrote him directly, and I said, are you getting engaged? I forgot exactly what I wrote to you, but it was that. And you're like, we're not saying anything. And he goes, yes, we're doing that. And I was like, I accidentally figured out what he was doing.
You cracked the case.
Yeah, I was so happy. I didn't say a word. And then, when they made the announcement, I pretended like, oh, fantastic. That, so that she didn't know or anybody else didn't know. But yeah, I was very happy for you, man. I figured it was just a matter of time, and I know your obsession with both. I mean, it's a work thing, but also in life, how much you love going over to Japan.
So this was my 6th time in Japan, but it was my first time going for fun. Every other time has been for work. So it was nice to not have really any obligations aside from the prisons of our own making of we were going to book this on this day and this on this day. And we got to be here at this time. Outside of that, it was glorious. Just being able to just randomly stroll around, duck into a random ramen shop if we were hungry, and actually take in the sights, sounds, smells, and flavors of Japan, because every other time I've gone, it's just been all right, we've got to be at the office at this time. We've got to, catch a train before they stop running. And it's we were very laid back about most of the stuff on this trip. And it was amazing.
I was going to say, that's one of my biggest regrets when my daughter was living out there for a couple of years, that I never actually got to go out there and visit. And it's just I want to go back out. I want to go out there just to walk around and just hang out.
You should go without her this time and say,
sure.
The tables have turned. Ha ha. And you're at the
now
Nintendo
you have to
store.
Skype me at midnight when it's breakfast for me. Idiot.
Good on him. So I'm very happy for you guys. Congratulations.
I was gonna say there's other people happy for you too, and I wanted to put this up because what a deep cut reference. It makes me laugh when this came up.
Oh, Chris
Subdivisions is saying you should have visited the Hassan auto plant and got ribbons of shame. Yes, this is a gung ho reference, which is one of my favorite movies.
I do.
And yes, congrats. Nothing but luck, love, and best wishes. So everyone's happy for you.
I sent you a link, and I'm glad you followed this guy. I found this guy on Instagram who does these really sarcastic food reviews in Japan, but he'll go to some good places, like really good places, but they're always like hole in the wall level, places you may not know. He's not like going to big upscale places, but he's obsessed with getting foreign food at 7-Elevens in Japan, like their version of shrimp scampi or something that's at a 7-Eleven. I saw all this stuff, and the way he talks about curry and everything, I go, this is right up Brian's alley. I'm going to send him the link. I'm like, this is a guy you should follow.
But no lie, like the 7-Elevens are next level over in Japan. Like I ate there almost every single day when I was over there, because you can just walk in and get like amazing sandwiches. Like either like the classic egg salad sandwich is like, always a good one, but like
they have that here now. They keep all the 7-Elevens
not the same.
I don't know. I didn't try it. It looks disgusting, but they're always
the tamago sandos.
Yeah, they're I'm sure they're
so
okay and in the US, but in Japan, like it's legitimately like a must have if you ever go over there.
It's like 9 pounds on like white bread. It's so simple, but like, yeah, there's a lot of like Japanese markets and stuff out here in Arizona, randomly enough, and they have a place that does those, and they're delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. There's a place not far from me here in the North Jersey area called Mitsuwa, and you're lucky there's a line to get into this place because it's a restaurant, and but it's not like an American restaurant. There's windows that you go and you'll see the food in plastic displays, like like almost like a collector's case that you would put like your action figures and things in there, but it's just plastic versions of the food so you can see what it looks like. And then you go and you order there, and then they'll flag you whenever, and you bring it over to your table and you eat that way. But then it's open air, like there's a balcony and there's a market. And I love going into the market because you get a lot of the weird and cool ramen stuff that you don't get in the regular stores. And then I go down that one aisle that for some reason you need to have dehydrated octopus and eel and all that other weird shit. I'm like, I just like to see keep tabs on them, see what they're doing. Pieces of kaijus are in there that are a delicacy. And then you go to the normal place. I'm like, oh yeah, here's all the shit that has Hello Kitty on it. It's apple juice, because it's over branded and all that stuff. But yeah, I would love to go over there at some point.
Yeah,
and experience all that. So let's talk about you and why you're here and all this stuff. Game Informer is bigger and better than ever. I don't know if we talked. Yeah, I think we talked to you the last time when Game Informer came back.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was right before they were going to go and do the physical copies.
Well,
it was all online at the time.
I ran into a physical copy at Barnes and Noble. I was in the store and I went over by the magazine section, and I was just looking around and go, wow, they don't have any kind of video game stuff. Those gamer magazines or even the wrestling magazines aren't there anymore. And those used to be another thing that would clog up end caps of the newsstands. And there it was. There was Game Informer. And I took a photo. I said, hey, it's actually in the store. Good job. You guys said you were going to do this, and you did it.
Yeah, it was a long time coming. This is the first time that since I've joined, I've been a Game Informer over 11 years now, and it has been like just a wish list item for so long to get us in, a lot of stores. And before, it was like we were owned by our previous parent company, so we were only in their stores. And now now that we're owned by a separate parent company, we are not only in Barnes and Noble, but we're also in I think Books A Million, and we are in fact in GameStops again, which is a very interesting twist there. But now we're also abroad as well. Like as of like the start of this year, I think it's something like 20 something countries have us in their newsstands. I don't know what stores they are, but like, yeah, they're in like Canada and the UK and Japan and like all kinds of places. So you can actually find Game Informer magazines all across the world.
That's talk about a success story where businesses don't usually come back to this scale ever. Like when they get shut down, it's because of mismanagement, it's because of embezzlement, it's because of economic hardships, it's whatever it is, and then to find that the company was sold to another company, and it's almost like remember when Hostess shut down and everybody freaked out, and then that other company, I think it was called Bimbo, came in and bought Hostess, and then said, no, we're going to do all this stuff. We're going to make everything. We're just going to use your name. It's like Callahan Motors from Tommy Boy. We're going to take your parts, but slap our name on it and put it out everywhere. At least it came back, you know?
Yeah, and that's kind of like the dueling miracles right there, right? Where it's like not only did they get the magazine and they like acquired the rights to that, but they were able to hire back 100% of the staff, like literally everybody, amazing. Editorial, marketing, just kind of like office logistics, design. Every single person that was employed by Game Informer prior to our shutdown in August 2024 was brought back when we started again in February 2025.
Chris in the chat says Eric's 100% right. No publications ever come back. No, because if they discontinue it, it's either they go out of business or they went all digital, and they found no value in actually having a physical, tangible copy to do that. And one of the great things with Game Informer, and then we'll talk games and everything else, is that the cover art, it's not just like some kind of clip art thing or now AI stuff, but you had artists, serious artists, who would painstakingly take the time to make an interpretation of whatever the property you were featuring that week. And then sometimes even inside the center story, like you'd open up the center of the magazine, had artwork that was just as fantastic as what was on the cover for the cover story. That's what gave it that edge, I think, then from other things like Gamer Pro, and I don't think Nintendo Power's been a thing forever, but you know what I'm talking about, those kind of magazines. To have the Game Informer thing, it was a work of art. And a couple of the things I still have, like when you guys did the BioShock artwork, and there you go.
Yeah, so this is our World of Warcraft Midnight issue, and you can see like it is art provided by Blizzard, like actual Blizzard artists sat down and made this. And then you do open it, you're right, like you open it into other like features, and they are very intentionally designed. Like this is an issue that I actually had a lot of stuff in, and I'm extremely happy with how the designers laid them out. So this is a big piece that I wrote on kind of the history and evolution of the Souls-like genre, and talking to all the people involved, including Hidetaka Miyazaki, who's the mastermind behind Soulsborne, or Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, all those games, and then all the developers that influenced. So we really do take like a really, like, I guess, hand crafted approach to all of our big features, whether that's our cover stories or big features. You will see tomorrow I am publishing what is likely to be the longest article in Game Informer history. It is.
Did you fall asleep on the keyboard and just
my God,
handed in your deadline?
It's something I've been working on since September.
Ooh. Okay.
I mean, I can just say what it is, I guess.
No one's listening.
It's I'm doing an oral history of Fallout, the entire Fallout franchise. Talking to the creators, talking to the team at Bethesda, so like Todd Howard and all of his people, talking to the people who worked on Fallout New Vegas, so like Josh Sawyer and John Gonzalez from Obsidian, and all the way up to talking to those who were involved with the show. So I have, quotes from Ella Purnell, Jonathan Nolan, Walton Goggins. All of them were involved with this. So it is.
I saw you hanging out with them when they were doing the premiere before the second season dropped.
Yeah, so it is one of the most, I mean, it's probably the most exhaustive piece that Game Informer's ever done. I ran the numbers in Microsoft Word. It was something like 86 pages in Microsoft Word. And then based on like our cover story, like character counts that we do, it's, I think, quadruple the length of what a typical Game Informer cover story is, which is most of the time our longest piece of content. So it is actually split into 3 parts. That's how long it is, because I wanted it to not just look like a wall of text, and I wanted it to be kind of navigable. But we're bringing it back to what you were talking about. We're taking a very handcrafted approach with that, even though the story itself only lives online, because we want it to be kind of like this special story. It's going to look different from everything else. It's going to have a custom background, a custom header image. It's going to have all kinds of different like navigation tools to make it so it's not so daunting to get in there. It's going to have special formatting, all that stuff just to kind of like celebrate that this is like a tentpole piece. And we do that online, and we do that in like the print magazine.
Now, was that specifically timed to come after the Nintendo Direct announcing Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, or is that it just timing wise just worked out?
I think they timed that to the fact that the Fallout TV series, the second season just ended, which is what I was timing it to. I mean, it was tens of hours of transcription. So I have been sitting down, listening to all these interviews, quote by quote, deciding if it fits anywhere in there, if it where it fits, because I'm going chronological on like telling this story all the way from back when Tim Kaine had a pizza party in Interplay to show off this secret side project he was working on called Fallout, and all the way up to, the second season.
How'd that work out for him, by the way?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he got to work on the first 1.5 games of the series before he left Interplay, and then, they canceled their version of Fallout 3 and sold it to Bethesda. So it worked out pretty well for him. He's back at Obsidian now, working on games like The Outer Worlds, which it's funny because there's so much Fallout DNA in that studio, and then here he comes joining that studio that has so many people who've worked on Fallout games past. But yeah, it's so funny how like they've all kind of come back together in a different studio, because Interplay was having a lot of problems back then.
That's crazy.
And now we look at Bethesda, and it's crazy to chart the path over the last 30 years of this franchise, where it started off as a kind of like a secret side project of this one programmer building a sprite engine back in 1994 and being like, all right, well, I'm not allowed to ask anybody to help me out with this project because everybody else is assigned. So I'm just going to have a pizza party after work hours and say, come check out this engine I've been building in my spare time. And then when like 8 people showed up, he expected like 30 people to show up, and 8 people showed up after hours.
It was really just a big car engine. Like, this was not what people were expecting from the description. Yeah.
Well, he took that and he was like, well, these are the go-getters at the company. So he recruited all of them to like just brainstorm with him. And that's how Fallout was born. And then tracing that from that moment all the way up to where we're at now, where it has, 2 seasons of an award-winning live action show starring these Hollywood actors. Fallout 3, 4, New Vegas, all massive hits. Fallout 76 is it's kind of a good redemption story, starting off being like this game that like, it really was like, who wants this? And now there's actually a pretty dedicated community surrounding it. And yeah, I mean, that's where it's so many interesting stories came out of those conversations. And again, it's everyone from Todd Howard and Tim Kaine all the way up to Walton Goggins and Jonathan Nolan talking about this franchise.
And that's this month's episode. This month's issue.
That is going to be going live tomorrow morning on GameInformer.com.
Yeah, they cut out a lot of audio of Todd Howard talking about another Skyrim that you can put on your Apple Watch or something.
I did get the first official comment on the Elder Scrolls 6 from three Bethesda higher-ups, including Todd. You can read that on GameInformer.com now as well. That was the first time that they were basically just talking, like, it's very vague terms and everything, because they're not going to spill too much when it's not like a predetermined marketing beat. But we did get the first comment in like, I think 3 years about. I was going to
say they announced it 3 years ago, and then it's been.
They announced it 8 years ago, or 8 years ago. 2018 E3 was when they announced Elder Scrolls 6.
I hope the comment was you're getting Elder Scrolls 6 before GTA 6, because then I'm just going to cancel my subscription and never play any of these games ever again. I'm tired of people saying that.
It is funny that they, one of the guys, Emil Pagliarulo, who's like, he's kind of handled most of the writing in the Fallout franchise since Bethesda took it over. I asked him, like, hey, do you have, like, how's development going on Elder Scrolls 6? And he's like, I get it. Everybody is super excited and impatient for this game. We announced it a long time ago. We haven't given really any good updates since. But like, look at Grand Theft Auto 6. The guys at Rockstar know what they're doing. They know how to put out a great game. We would like to take that approach, and basically we want to give you, like, I think the analogy he made, because I was talking to him in like October, was like, the Thanksgiving turkey, you got to wait a long time for that thing to cook. And then when you take it out of the oven, if you cooked it just right, it's like nice and juicy and plump. Right. If you take it out too early, it's no good.
So you're going to wait you're going to wait almost 15 years before the next game comes out. That's really the example you want to follow.
Well, I mean, you talk about games like Fallout 76, Cyberpunk. You got all these games that they put out there and they make these lofty claims and they fall flat. I mean, look at what's that game we like to play online with Rob? Spaceships. God, I can't.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Like these games have these big ideas. They put them out and they're not good. And it's because they had to rush them to market or whatever. And then over the years they fix it. I mean, I'd rather at this point not have to put in a game and download a 100 gigabyte patch because you couldn't do it all and what you needed to do. I don't need you guys to be like, no, these features will be later. We just had to get it out before Thanksgiving. Take your time. Do a good game. I mean, we learned about what's that new game from Levine? I mean, we learned about that years ago, and Judas, maybe coming out this year. I don't know.
In this most recent, or I guess not the most recent issue, because the most recent issue is the James Bond issue that I wrote the cover story for. But in that issue that I showed you, the World of Warcraft Midnight, we actually got a quote from Ken Levine on Judas. So you can check that out. We're trying our best to get as much new information. Actually, no, that is in the James Bond issue, because the World of Warcraft issue was our end of year issue, like looking back at all like the great games that came out in 2025. Right. The James Bond issue, 007 First Light, that just hit digital and is starting to roll out to print subscribers now, is our most anticipated for 2026 issue. And that's where we got the quote for Judas. So we did get an update in this upcoming issue of about that game.
I need some space BioShock.
So let's get into, you're highlighting a lot of great stuff, but let's get into games that are either out or coming out that you're excited about, that you're recommending to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I something that I actually wrote over on GameInformer.com right before the holidays was I was kind of looking at the 2026 release calendar, both TV, or I guess including TV, movies, and video games. And I was like, man, this is like a really good year for like nerdy fandom. Like if you love like just like nerdy properties, like there is a ton coming out this year, because like, looking at the movies, you have stuff like Spider-Man Brand New Day and Daredevil Born Again Season 2 and Avengers Doomsday and Dune Part 3 and all those nerdy things that all the people like. What was that?
The remake.
It was a terrible Bill Cosby movie. Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, it was just like, wow, there's a lot of like stuff that is like geared towards people like us coming out this year. And not to mention things like Toy Story is getting a new movie. And, if you're a fan of like the Mario movies, like Mario Galaxy comes out in 2 months now. And,
April 1st. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, there's so many things like that, plus TV shows and you have Mandalorian and Grogu coming to theaters. And
next month.
Is that next month? I thought it was in the summer.
I think it was March.
Oh man.
March or May. I don't know. It just seems like it's just coming up quick.
But yeah, so and then I looked at like some of the games that are coming out, and it's like
coming up in May. It's May 22nd.
In May, okay.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking March seemed a little bit too soon.
We've seen nothing other than the one trailer.
Yeah, so like the games coming out are also kind of following that suit, and like led, I think, by one of my most anticipated of this year, which is Wolverine from Insomniac Games, taking place presumably in the same universe as the Spider-Man games, which is super interesting to me. And we got that trailer I think 2 months ago now, and it looks insane. I just rewatched all the X-Men movies because I haven't watched them in a few years.
Do that.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that
a little bit
after seeing the Doomsday stuff that came out a while back. I was sitting there, I was like, I think I want to go back, and I didn't take the X-Men movies. I don't even take the Marvel ones seriously now because they fell apart for a while. But, there was a time where the Marvel movies you were taking seriously because this had stuff for about the next one. What does it mean for this? Everything was interconnected. The X-Men movies was all you had during that time as far as Marvel goes. I mean, you had Blade, but that was few and far between.
Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Well, in the 90s, you had X-Men before Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire stuff came out.
X-Men didn't even come out till 2000.
Yeah, the first X-Men predated Spider-Man 1 by 2 years.
Okay.
So by the time X2 came out, we had Spider-Man 1.
Anything turn of the centuries, I guess, is blurring together at this point.
Yeah, because I remember the promotions for Spider-Man. Originally, there was a trailer where there was a guy, bank robbers. And then eventually there was a helicopter stuck in a web. And as you panned out, it was the Twin Towers holding that web. And then 9/11 happened and they had to pull all that promotion.
How'd that go?
I'll never forget.
Okay. Well, anyway, so yeah, the X-Men movies, I enjoy watching them because they're fun, they're goofy. Yeah, there's issues, but you didn't hyper focus on the issues for a lot of that stuff, other than people bitching that Wolverine never wore the yellow suit. Other than that, I didn't pay attention to a lot of that shit until we got to Armageddon. I was just not Apocalypse, when I was like, wow, this is bad, and the Sentinels didn't look exactly like they were supposed to be. And
Days of Future Past is very good. So what the route that I took was I took it because this was my first time watching it with my fiance. She'd never seen the X-Men movies, and I was like, well, you should probably watch this before Doomsday comes out at the end of this year. And so we just watched it, but I was like, we're not watching X-Men Origin Wolverine.
No,
we're not going to watch Apocalypse, and we're not going to watch Dark Phoenix. You had to watch X-Men 3 because that kind of has some stuff for like the future of like.
What about that? What about Wolverine when he went to Japan?
Yeah,
I like that one, but it has to be the unedited version because that was bloodier.
Yes, so that version, and the ending of that movie sucks, but every other thing about that is really fun. Like I actually really enjoy that movie. And then you got to watch the Rogue cut of Days of Future Past.
Did you like the Rogue cut? Because I thought it was okay, but like I still feel like without it, it still was a solid movie.
Oh yeah, it's still one of the better X-Men movies without it. I just like, the fact that like they never mention who was kind of set up to be the main character of the original trilogy of those X-Men movies, and it's like, oh no, it's all about Wolverine now because he became the main character after, the first two movies. And like Rogue was supposed to be like kind of the main character there. And then they just slowly moved her to the background and moved Wolverine to the foreground. And then we get to Days of Future Past and we're like, all right, well, why is Rogue not anywhere here? They don't even really mention her.
Or how does Kitty Pryde send his soul back to the 70s, like, or the 80s? Like you needed Rogue needing to be in that movie made sense. I don't know. I think it was just fine without it.
Well, because Rogue was nice not Rogue. Like they completely changed her demeanor, her accent, everything had nothing to do with Rogue being Rogue. So people didn't care. Wolverine at least was Wolverine. The only thing he just didn't have the yellow outfit. Everything else was on point. So that's why they moved him to the front. It's like, oh, look at him. Ignore everything in the back. Just look at him though.
Yeah, I do.
Did you see Xavier's in the wheelchair? Great. Don't look back there.
Don't look at Xavier.
I do love that they gave like the comic accurate Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine when he was like going through the multiverse trying to find his Wolverine that he wanted, and
the short one in the bar,
the little tiny guy. That was a great gag.
By the way, that teaser that we got for when they were doing the 4 teasers before the movies for Doomsday, I'm tired of fucking Xavier's mansion blowing up all the time. I'm tired.
This is probably the last time.
It's just, it's one of those properties where that the setting, the building, whatever, is almost as big a character as the people who are the characters in the movie. That mansion is its own character. And you constantly are fucking it up. It's like, oh, how are we going to blow it up this time? Well, the Juggernaut's going to run through here. And then this is going to, it's like, stop ruining this place. There's plenty of other things in this world to destroy. We can avoid upstate New York for a little while. Just get out of Westchester and let's find some other places to blow up. There's nothing going on in Pennsylvania. Let's go take off those Shady Maples in Amish country. Let's fuck around there for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun rewatching them. Like I also last year did a rewatch of the DCEU, the Zack Snyder DC movies. Did not have as much fun watching those.
No, it's just depressing.
Yeah, and I went into this X-Men rewatch thinking like, okay, I'm going to have a similar experience. It's just going to be like, this one. All right, I guess we'll watch it. But no, I was actually like thoroughly enjoying watching it all the way through. And like, I don't know, as long as you curate it just a little bit, I think that it is well worth the watch before Doomsday.
I still get a little bummed out about X3 kind of falling into like taking internet memes and putting it in the movie because they thought it was funny, or killing off characters because they wanted to go work on Superman, or doing all the, like, some of the creative differences bum me out. I think X2 is probably my favorite, other than Days of Future Past, probably my favorite probably not even just X-Men movie, just comic book movie altogether. I think that one was a solid movie.
It really was.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, and it's just a reminder that like Peter Dinklage is amazing in everything he's in.
He's also
was he Boulevard Trask?
Yeah, he was Boulevard Trask.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know if you watched the most recent season of Dexter, the Dexter Resurrection.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
He is incredible in that as like the kind of the main antagonist.
He's good in the Toxic Avenger remake that they just
I haven't seen it.
I think it's on Peacock. It might be on Peacock now.
All right, well, I guess I'll never see it then.
You're right.
All right, moving past the X-Men stuff here and back into the games, because we have people like Giddles is in here. It's like, what games are you looking forward to most in 2026? What games are out there that we should be paying attention to?
So recently there's been like, it's been like a really fast-paced first month of this year, like, but it's not like the big heavy hitters the way we're seeing in February and March. January was all about like a lot of like smaller indie games, I think. And you know, we got I'm just looking at like our schedule here. We got,
I'll tell you one, Phasmophobia, favorite of mine,
new game.
Well, it came out in 2020, but gave out its roadmap for 2026 that's leading up to their official end of early access, their 1.0 release. So I mean, look, when you play a game early access, you think, oh great, by the end of the year. No, that was the pandemic had just started a few months prior, and now we're finally getting to maybe the first finished version of the game.
Yeah. It is some of those early access games just take forever to get to 1.0. You know, we saw a very quick turnaround with Hades 2 last year, where I think Hades 2 was only in early access for like a year. And then we have games like, I mean, Star Citizen, I don't even know what to say about that anymore, where I think that's been in development, but like playable for like 14, 15 years at this point. And then, you know, Valheim, I think, is finally going 1.0, and that was huge back in 2021. And now it's like, oh yeah, that still hasn't hit 1.0. And they just announced it's coming to console. And it's like, it's crazy how long some of the early access phases are. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 was in early access for a decently long time, and then that came out and it was actually a Game of the Year winner. So sometimes it pays off. Other times I think that it ends up being like, because they have thousands upon thousands of people giving them feedback, it becomes kind of a curse of like, all right, which car do we want to chase in order to make this game the game that the fans want? And it's really like, I think they have a hard time sifting through a lot of that feedback, because it's hard to like sort through that white noise, you know? So
just trying to think of what came out recently that I've been like eyeballing. Like, I think High Guard is on my list. I know that just released within the last week or so. That's one of those Overwatch clones I think everybody's doing now. The only thing that's really getting me on that is I think it's the old Titanfall devs.
Yeah,
that built that.
A lot of them are
love
old
Titanfall. Have you had a chance to play that or know anything about it? That
I haven't had a chance to check it out. I haven't had a chance to check it out myself, but I do know that they are actively like working with the fan base, because they put out a 3v3 mode. That was like their only mode. And everybody was like, this feels empty. These maps don't feel like there's enough players in here. So they just upped the player count to 5v5. And it seems like people are much higher on that. It does seem like there's like still a lot of features that they need to implement, but it's, I don't know. It seems like people were ready to dismiss it. And those who are actually giving it a shot are like, it's pretty fun. It still needs some work, but it's overall like good core concepts. One game that you shouldn't play, from what I hear, is Code Vein 2, which is like a Souls-like game. It's one of our lowest scoring reviews in a while. So
say that's like a week old, and that's sad.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?
It's just apparently offensive to the senses. It's just like a really like kind of abrasive art style. The gameplay just feels really monotonous and boring, which is not what you want for a high octane action game like this is supposed to be. The story apparently has like a cool premise where like you're going back in time to change the future, but like it just doesn't do anything interesting with it. And it just sounds like the boss battles are designed to either be extremely monotonous or extremely frustrating, but no in between.
Well, that's sad. I know the last time you were on, it's actually, I remember now, it was right before Switch 2 came out. And we'd all talked about Switch 2, what you thought about it. I know you got the early access and early previews and you were playing it. I was a sucker and said, yep, I'm going to do it too. I ended up buying me one. And then I, in a weird pre-order snafu, got a second one. So I gave it to my daughter. I love Final Fantasy. I have all the other stuff. I know Intergrade just came out. And I think you did the review on the second one coming out soon. How does it play on the Switch 2 for on the go? Because I'm kind of eyeballing getting it again just so I can have a portable version of the first part of Final Fantasy.
So haven't played Rebirth yet on because they just announced that today is coming to Switch 2 in June. But Remake Intergrade came out, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago on Switch 2. It's a 2020 game originally, but they finally are bringing it to Xbox and PlayStation or Xbox and Switch this year, and it runs remarkably well. You know, the thing about Switch 2 ports is there's, especially when the Switch 1 was the flagship system for Nintendo, there were a lot of games coming over that just were like, okay, it's cool that this is on here, but this is objectively the worst way to play this game.
Mortal Kombat 10.
Yeah, all the modern Mortal Kombat games are terrible.
Boy, it is called shit.
Well, Mortal Kombat 1 is the real terrible one. Mortal Kombat 10
that's right.
Is
Mortal
okay.
Kombat 1.
It's still the worst way to play that game. Mortal Kombat 1 was an objectively bad port. Like it
was just bad. It was like Mr. Potato Head graphics. Like the faces looked like Mr. Potato. You had eyes, face, and you kind of knew it was Kung Lao because he had a hat, but that was it.
But yeah, they've had a lot of like really good ports on Switch 2. You know, Star Wars Outlaws was a surprisingly good port. Yeah. And Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is actually a shockingly good port, and it runs extremely well. You'll notice a little bit of like a little bit less texture resolution when you're playing when compared to like something on like PS5, but that's to be expected. Yeah. And so it really gave me a high degree of confidence that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is coming in June, will run well. But yeah, I mean, both of those games are fantastic. Remake Intergrade, which is the first part. Right. Intergrade is just kind of like the revamped version of it. Like it's like the upgraded version that has like
1.5.
Yeah, it has like an extra chapter. Yeah, it has the intermission episode, which is like a DLC thing that they put out back in like 2021 or 2022 that stars Yuffie, who's one of the main characters of Rebirth. So yeah, this is like the enhanced edition of the game that came out in 2020, and it runs pretty well from what I've seen.
Is that in handheld mode or is that docked? Because I know there's usually a difference, but I'm playing mainly handheld when it comes to my Switch.
I think it runs pretty well on both. Yeah, I think it runs pretty well on both handheld and docked. But Rebirth is going to be a real test because they nailed Remake in terms of making it run well on Switch 2. Rebirth is more of an open game. Like those environments are so much bigger. Whereas like in Remake, you are in Midgar the entire time pretty much. Yeah. And so those kind of like environments are a lot more like hallway focused. They're a lot more narrow, a lot more linear. Rebirth is all about like open area exploration.
You're going to see a lot of environments just popping in as it comes in.
I hope not. I really hope not, because it's such a fun game. Like I actually prefer Rebirth. I think a lot of people prefer Remake, but Rebirth was the exact kind of like open world experience that I wanted. And I had a blast exploring pretty much every single one of those biomes almost to 100%.
I love that we're getting multiple remakes and redos and console releases for the first two, and we haven't even gotten the third part yet.
Yeah,
and come on, finish it up.
But I mean, hey, basically what that is Square Enix admitting that these console exclusivity deals that they booked with PlayStation were not paying off, because you've seen them come out in the time since like 2020 saying, all right, we're not going to do as many like exclusive games, and we're going to start bringing some of these Final Fantasy games that were exclusive to PlayStation to other platforms. So that's why you're seeing Final Fantasy VII Remake on both Xbox and Switch now. And then Final Fantasy 16 is also coming to Xbox, which was previously it was only on PlayStation as far as consoles. I think it's also on PC, but like no other consoles.
Are we heading into a time where these exclusive things just aren't? I know that you say that one didn't pay off, but like, all of them, eventually people are just going to get so annoyed or frustrated. Just like, I'm not waiting. Like with GTA 6, you got like, what, a year on PlayStation before it comes out for everything else? Everyone's been waiting for this game for like 15 years, and now you're saying, well, it's only on PlayStation. Yeah, that's going to help PlayStation, but that's a short-term gain with all of that stuff. I think that's going to piss off a lot of people or burn people on the franchise when you don't have these. Like, I get Windows, like you have an exclusivity window, but to just be so long with it, I don't know if it's ever coming to Xbox or PC. Everything's moving PC nowadays, whether you like consoles or PCs, that's your preference. But the way the technology for consoles are going, they're becoming more and more PC-like as a console, but they're becoming more PC. The what?
I said the next Xbox rumor is that it's going to be just a PC, really. Right.
So, like, having these exclusive properties because Sony has the license or Xbox has the license, that's one thing. But being like, it's only ever coming out on this platform, are we heading into a time where that's not going to be profitable or make much financial sense anymore?
I mean, it usually boils down to how much is the platform holder willing to pony up to make it so that it's only going to come to your console or come to your console first.
Right.
And I mean, in some cases, like you said, it is like Sony holds the license, like, which is why we have the Spider-Man games exclusively on PlayStation. I mean, they do come to PC later, but Sony has like the exclusive rights to Spider-Man, which is, why we have Sony Pictures making the Spider-Man movies. And, it took Marvel being like, hey, we want to be involved in this. We want to make you more money because if Spider-Man's in the MCU, people are going to go see it. If you're trying to do Andrew Garfield off in his own little universe, it's not going to be nearly as profitable. So they had to kind of pitch it as like a win-win. So there may come a time where, maybe somebody goes to Sony and says, hey, you would make a lot more money on this Spider-Man game if you brought it to Xbox or even Switch. But I think they're doing just fine because like I feel like Spider-Man at this point is a reason that people buy a PlayStation because it's that popular of a game.
Right.
I think Microsoft is going that route, though, where they're saying, okay, look, we realize we can't sustain putting these big tentpole games on just our system or even just PC. So now you've got, all these other games coming out simultaneously now for the PlayStation. What's that racing game that's coming?
Forza Horizon 6.
Horizon 6 is PlayStation, PC, Xbox. It's not exclusive anymore. So I think they're kind of realizing that. I just don't think Sony's ready to give up some of their exclusivity yet.
I mean, we have Halo coming to PlayStation later this year.
That's blasphemy, but I'm excited to have I'm excited to have more Halo.
What do you expect? They ruined the television show, so they're going to have to just recoup wherever they can.
But to your point, Eric, it's actually not GTA 6 is not exclusive. It is
for like the first year.
No, it's console exclusive. It'll go to PC later. This is what they were saying.
Yeah, so basically they're marketing it on PlayStation 5 Pro and basically saying that this is going to be like the definitive way to play it, but it is coming to Xbox the same day as PS5.
All right, because then that's on me, because the advertising and the YouTube stuff I was seeing was that this was going to be a PlayStation launch, and then it was going to be a while before it even was available on PC, because it's not available day one for PC. And that kind of pissed me off.
It's not coming to PC for a while.
And I'll never play it then because I haven't gotten a console in a while because everything, I've upgraded my computer and parts and all that stuff. I can get almost everything I want through Steam and through other platforms, Epic, things like that, where I can get the games. I could get the Spider-Man platform. I've never had a PlayStation. I don't own a PlayStation, but I could buy the Spider-Man game and play it on my PC now. Because PlayStation made that deal. I will. I mean, it's on my wish list, but
it's so good.
Yeah.
Well, what's great is that you can get the new Xbox handheld that runs Steam to play Spider-Man. So technically, you can get Spider-Man on an Xbox console.
Kai Stick in the chat saying PlayStation generated over $1.5 billion in gross revenue for games sold on Steam, with approximately $1.2 billion in net revenue going on Sony after Valve's commission over 43 million copies. Yeah, it doesn't like the exclusivity stuff doesn't make sense to me anymore. But I mean, what do I know?
Yeah, they've made a calculated decision to be like, we're going to greatly expand our audience by going on Steam. However, we're not going to give it to our chief rival. But they have put a couple of games on other systems. Sony published games I'm seeing somebody in the chat talking about MLB The Show. You know, part of their agreement with MLB was them saying, like, MLB came to them basically and was like, hey, we love the work you're doing. Like, MLB The Show is consistently one of the highest reviewed sports games year after year. And for good reason. I think it's probably the most consistent sports game, sports franchise. And they
even
basically
over
were like,
Madden?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah. The show is actually really fun.
Madden has good years and it has bad years, but like it's very inconsistent, I've found. Okay. MLB The Show will introduce new features and they'll be kind of bare bones for the first year, but the rest of the package is so good that it compensates for it. And then a year or two later, then you get the true version of that mode that they introduce. But the thing is that MLB came to them and was like, hey, like, we love the work you're doing. We would love to renew our license agreement with you, but we don't love that we're only on PlayStation. We want to be on other systems. And that's why Sony publishes MLB The Show on Nintendo and Xbox, because MLB pressed the issue.
I don't even like baseball, and it's one of my favorite games to play on any system. I actually had it for the PlayStation Vita, I think back in 20,
was it cross saves and everything? That was great.
Loved it, and I still love it. And now that I can get it on Game Pass, I don't have to, pay extra for it. But yeah, I still play it. I'll play it this year.
Yeah, and then they also made another calculated decision with Lego Horizon Adventures, which is, based on the Horizon Zero Dawn IP, but it's like a Lego thing. So Sony looked at that and said, hey, like, we could put this on Switch. This is great for the Nintendo audience. And sure enough, they did. And I don't know how it sold, but I'm sure it did better than if they didn't put it on Switch.
It's amazing how many properties put out their games and then go, hey, we could make a Lego version of this, and it's a whole other revenue stream that comes in, and it does just as well by having the Lego version. I mean, you see it with Fortnite. You can play all the different versions of Fortnite, but you're winning, like, you're getting achievements for the Lego version, which I'm not playing, but it's like, oh, there's a Lego version for that. Steam keeps having sales. They just had a Warner Brothers sale where you could buy the entire franchise of Lord of the Rings for the Legos, Harry Potter for the Legos, Scooby-Doo for the like everything's Lego, and it does just as well as the adult version, I guess, or the real life version.
And to steer this back to like the broader conversation that we're having here of games that we're really excited about in 2026, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. I don't know how familiar you are with this.
Yes.
This is super exciting to me because I had given up on the Lego games, and then Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga came out, and it just revamped the entire formula, right? It was the camera swung down, so it was like kind of like a third-person shooter style. They revamped all the graphics. It all runs so much better, and it looks so much better, and it plays so much better. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm back into Lego games. And then it's been a while since we've gotten one. And then last year at Summer Game Fest, I think it was, they announced Lego Batman, The Legacy of the Dark Knight. And all it is a story, but they're borrowing elements from the different Batman media. So like animated, live action movies, Arkham Asylum, all those games. They're borrowing scenes and elements from that, including characters. So like you will see like, I'm like Heath Ledger Joker, and you'll see like Danny DeVito Penguin, and like different characters from different eras of Batman appearing in their Lego forms and either recreating these iconic scenes or interacting in ways that you've never seen them interact before. So like that's a super exciting prospect, and I think that's going to be incredible.
Yeah, that one's going to be good. I actually saw someone complaining about it the other day, just broadly, because I guess they put out the specs for the PC to run it. And they're like, how is this Lego game needing like the most advanced PC to run it? I'm just like, I'm excited. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. So this month we have quite a few games coming out at the end of this month. And I think the top one is probably Resident Evil Requiem. That game, dual protagonist. One side of it seems like it's going to be pretty stealthy and like, survival horror. The other side is straight up action shooting. So like, no matter what side of like the Resident Evil coin, whether you like kind of like the early days where it was kind of more survival horror or more of like the action stuff like you got in 4, 5, and well, nobody really liked 6, but 4 and 5.
7's
and then
good.
7's good, yeah. So it's kind of like the convergence of all of those where You're playing, I believe, as Grace Ashcroft in like these survival horror segments where you're kind of a little bit more helpless. And then you play as Leon Kennedy, who's like kind of the action star alongside some of the other characters in Resident Evil. And that's more like shooting and combat focused. So it's kind of like you're taking turns bouncing back and forth between these two styles that have come to define Resident Evil. And Requiem is looking super, super promising.
Look, I'm just happy I'm getting more amiibos to buy and never use.
Oh, right. Yeah. Capcom's all in on the amiibos now.
They really are.
Because they're also doing it for Pragmata, which is their other big game this first half of the year.
They did stuff for the, I think they did, when the Switch 2 released, they did a lot of the Street Fighter ones. I was like, oh my God. And then I saw the prices and I was like, I can't do this.
Do the amiibos work on the Switch 2?
They do. Yeah.
Okay, so the old ones you have will okay.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I just bought, they had a sale around Christmas, so I bought all the Zelda ones that I'd never got my hands on.
Yeah, I don't.
And they were like super cheap. They were like $10 each. I was like, I'm not spending 25. So yeah.
Yeah, that so
They'll
like
just sit on the shelf.
Resident Evil Requiem is getting some amiibos. Street Fighter 6 got some amiibos when it came out on Switch 2, and then Pragmata, which is the other big Capcom game, which by the way also looks super cool. That's coming out April 24th, and basically like you're up on the moon in like this lunar base, and you hear a distress call, so you go to check it out, and you like it turns out that like this base is on like some sort of high alert, and it detects you even though you're there to help. You're part of like the rescue crew. It detects you as like part of the like a foreign invader basically, and it sends its AI enemies at you. Like a security system activates on you, and you start off and you're trying to shoot these enemies, and like they have like really thick armor, so you have to you find this like little girl who's an android, and she joins you, and the combat starts playing out where you hold the left trigger to pull out your gun. You're aiming at this enemy that's walking slowly towards you. It's like a robot walking slowly towards you. And a hacking interface comes up, and you use the face buttons to navigate through basically kind of like a little bit of a maze in real time. It doesn't slow down time at all. So these enemies are coming at you while you're trying to hack them.
So you're playing mini games within the game so you don't die.
Yeah, and
That's
basically you are pressed for time because they're coming at you. Sometimes they're coming at you from all angles. There was one encounter that I played. There's a demo that came out today, and I was checking it out. And there's one encounter where there's two robots walking slowly towards you, and then there's another like turret off in the distance who is constantly targeting you. So you're dashing while you're hacking the enemies, and you're trying to avoid getting targeted. You're trying to keep enough space between you and the robots that are walking towards you, all while you're doing this hacking mini game. And once you complete the hacking minigame, depending on which nodes you go through, it's basically a grid, and you have to navigate to the point where it like lowers their defenses, but you can pick up other bonuses along the way. Like there's one that like further lowers their defenses, and then or ones that give you experience points or extra loot or stuff like that while you're hacking them. And then after you complete the hacking minigame, like all of their panels open up, and then you can just target their weak points. And that's like the most efficient way to take them down. And it's really an interesting twist on kind of like the tried and true, like, all right, I'm a manly space marine going up and bringing the biggest gun I've got to blow them to pieces. And instead, like you kind of feel like just like a normal guy in a spacesuit, like trying to take down these enemies, but you have this companion that can make the job a little bit easier. And then on top of that, there's this cool interplay between shooting and hacking that really keeps the experience fresh from all the time that I've put into the game so far.
That sounds interesting, because most of the time those are usually twist. Like like they'll pause the action, kind of like Final Fantasy, like, and you'd be like, okay, this is what you got to do. How are you going to do that? Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Yeah, you said the demo's out.
The demo just hit all systems today.
Okay, I'm going to download that.
So Pragmata, it's called.
Nice.
What else do we have?
Over on the Xbox side, we talked about it a little bit, Forza Horizon 6. So Forza Horizon 5 is my favorite racing video game of all time. I would take
one in Mexico?
Yeah, the one that it takes place in Mexico. Forza Horizon 3.
I watched Jordan play that when it came out, and then he just stopped playing it out of nowhere.
I liked 5, but I was actually a big fan of 4, which takes place in England.
I loved 4.
4 was fine for me. I actually preferred 3, which took place in Australia. I thought that environment was so cool. It was such so many diverse biomes.
All right, the Australian one, that was the one that had, or at least the Xbox version had the rewind if you made a mistake or something.
Oh, they all have that now.
Okay, yeah. No, but I think that was the first time I either played it or noticed it. that had like, oh my God, I hit the guardrail and took out a telephone booth or something. I could hit the button, rewind, and then fix my race as I was going.
Yeah, that's a cool feature that's fun if you're just playing single player. It's obviously not super available when you're playing online with other people.
Right.
But 6 is we don't know a ton about it, but we know it's going to Japan, and that is super exciting for me, as we already covered extensively on the show.
Yes, we get it. You're obsessed with Japan.
I had to rip off my pants when they did that pause shot of the car, and then you see the Gundam leg come down and smash.
Oh,
right
yeah.
behind. I was like, well, these are gone.
Oh my God! If you're trying to race and there's Gundam and Kaijus just running amok.
They always
I don't know
do
how
cool
much you've
stuff
actually.
with that.
That's what I was saying. Like, I don't know if you've ever really played too much, Eric. There's races in the game where you're like racing against Harrier jets. I'm just like, you have to race this plane. I'm like, how am I supposed to race a plane?
Yeah, there's
that F1 in Vegas.
And then there's they always do cool expansions that are like completely off the wall. Like there's always like
the Lego
expansions.
I like the Hot Wheels one.
Hot Wheels, that's another big one that they've done.
The Hot Wheels one is funny because you just see this giant orange loop-de-loop track in the middle of nowhere. It's like, how does nobody see this from a distance, that people are just racing cars very dangerously, by the way, in the middle of nowhere? Who allowed this? How is this thing built? But yeah, it's so much fun because they sometimes too, they also have the thing where you lock your car in and it shoots you out. It's very nostalgic. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I'm super stoked for Forza Horizon 6. I mean, that's coming in May. And
I've already pre-downloaded it on my Xbox.
Really? Wow. Yeah, that's dedication right there. I'm excited for that one. I'm hoping that it lives up to how much I love Forza Horizon 5. Mm-hmm. One that I think that maybe like a little bit of an off-the-wall recommendation here is coming out March 5th. It is Pokemon Pokopia.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I don't know how much you know about this, Eric, but it's kind of like...
I'm still playing Pokemon Pokécabana, so I'm not even up to that yet.
You don't need to play that in order to enjoy this one. So Pokemon Pokopia is almost like a cross between Minecraft and Animal Crossing, and if you ever played Dragon Quest Builders, where you're basically going around and like building like a town out of like stuff that you harvest from the world, only they inject Pokemon into it. So like if you need like you find yourself on a like basically the story is you're a Ditto, which is the character that can transform into any other Pokemon. And it loses its trainer on this deserted island, and it transforms into like a crappy version of its trainer, and
dead eyes and everything, just staring off in the distance.
Or I don't know if it's its trainer or somebody, but it goes around and it can copy different abilities from Pokemon that they find on this island, and it goes around and like, so if you need to water grass, you find a Squirtle and you can copy its ability to spray water. If you need to punch through a piece of rock, you find a Hitmonchan who can punch really hard, and you do that and you can punch through that. Or if you need to fly somewhere, I don't know, you find a flying Pokemon and you can fly around that way. So like you accumulate all these abilities as you meet these different Pokemon that are roaming around this island, and it looks super cool. I think we're due for another update on that pretty soon here because it comes out in a month.
Right.
And I feel like there's still so much we don't know about it, but it does look incredibly cool. And looks like it's going to scratch that itch for like, all right, we haven't had like a real new Animal Crossing game since 2020. Dragon Quest Builders, I think the last Dragon Quest Builders game was like 2019, 2020. And Minecraft is still doing its thing. But like if you're looking for something fresh and has the Pokemon license, that seems like it's going to be right up your alley.
I was actually thinking about that because I downloaded the update for Animal Crossing for the Switch 2. And I'm actually like loving that kind of stuff. So yeah, I have the Pokemon, ZA.
Yeah.
That one's fun. It's one of those ones that I was playing and then I just kind of put down for a little bit. Like I don't feel the drive to finish it, but like I like building games. I like survival games, things like that. So that seems like it would be a fun mix that I could like hang out and play with the kids while doing that stuff. So that, yeah, I can't believe that's next month. Jesus.
Oh man. And one of your commenters is pointing out that Dragon Quest Builders 2 was 2018, which feels like a
lifetime
bajillion years ago. Also, I saw today is 1,000 days since Tears of the Kingdom came out, which if you need to feel old, there's a factoid for you.
I just got I pre-ordered the Lego set for the Legend of Zelda, the end battle.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
just put more out there, because I didn't buy any of the Pokemon ones, because the one I wanted was $600. I'm not going to spend that kind of money.
Oh my God. Yeah. That one's really cool looking, but like, yeah.
Not unless more super chats come in.
Yeah. So subscribing everybody. But yeah, no, that one I couldn't bring myself to buy, even though it was like the 3 starters. It looked really cool, but I can afford $120 for a Zelda set.
Yeah. So the other one that I wanted to talk about was a game I mentioned earlier that I did the cover story for our most recent issue of Game Informer, and that is 007 First Light. And this is
it's the Lenny Kravitz game.
It is the Lenny Kravitz game. This is the first James Bond game since 2012.
I can't believe that.
That is insane. Because
was it PlayStation 3 at this point? PlayStation 4?
007 Legends came out in 2012, and it was such a flop and such a disappointment to Eon and MGM that they just said, no, we're pulling back the 007 license. We're taking it away from Activision, and we're not giving it to anybody else. Wow. And basically, IO Interactive, which is this studio that does all the Hitman games.
I was going to say, I like IO, yeah.
Yeah, so they got approached by a business partner that they had called, I think, Delphi Interactive, which is another development studio. And they're like, hey, we think we could get the James Bond license. You guys are like tailor-made for this game. And do you think you'd want to take this on? And they're like, well, we've never done like another IP before. It's always been our own brands like Hitman and Kane and Lynch and Freedom Fighters. And there's a game called Mini Ninjas that they did a while ago, but they've never really worked on a licensed property. So they were kind of apprehensive, but then when they thought about it, they were like, we've kind of been like training for this unknowingly with the Hitman franchise for 25 years. So, globe-trotting agent adventure where you're tracking down targets, trying not to get noticed in a lot of cases. They're like, yeah, we've been making those since 2000. We could probably do something with this James Bond license. And that was the start of 007 Legends. And that was 6.5 years ago that they kind of they signed on to do that. And, they brought their pitch to Amazon and MGM, or it wasn't Amazon at the time, it was MGM and Eon. And they agreed to it. They liked it, and they started doing that. And, I got a chance. I went out to Copenhagen right before I went to Japan and got to visit the studio, and they're doing some really cool stuff with this game. I got to see like pretty much all phases of this game. So it starts off where you're trying to infiltrate this hotel where like this chess championship is happening, but like your target is in there. So you're tracking this guy, and you got to find a way in. So you can either like sneak in by like grabbing a lighter there's a guard that has a lighter, so you have to like use your phone gadget to shoot a dart that makes him nauseous, so he goes off in the corner and starts puking his guts out. While he's doing that, you can grab his lighter, walk over, catch a wheelbarrow full of hay on fire that draws attention from other people trying to put it out. You jump around, you climb on a ledge, and you climb into a window, and you're like, all right, I'm in. So you can do that. Or in the extra extended demo that I saw at the studio, they went over and they eavesdropped on a journalist who was waiting to go into the media check-in. And she's like, oh, yeah, there's a whistleblower coming to the tournament tonight. I left him an extra press pass in the flower pot. So let him know to look there. So you eavesdrop on that. And then you go over and like it highlights all the flower pots. So like you have the intel that Bond has right at the tip of your right at the tip of your fingers. So that way you don't have to go through menus and look at your journal and be like, oh yeah, there's a thing in the flower pot. It just automatically highlights that, and you walk over, get it, and you can flash the badge and walk right in. So there's all these different ways that you can approach the objective. And then like, if you need to know where a guy is, the person you go and talk to is the bartender at this event, because he hears everything. He talks to everybody. So you go up and talk to him. Hey, there's this guy that I was looking for. Have you seen him? And he's like, yeah, he went backstage. So you just have to go back that way. He's like, all right, cool. And then the demo kind of jumps ahead, and suddenly it's a car chase. So you got to drive around and chase this car, and there's dialogue being thrown back and forth. You're having to, find shortcuts, like jump off of a ledge and jumping off of cliffs and like finding different ways. And then it culminates in a gunfight in an airstrip. And the environment's super destructible. You're grabbing guns off of enemies. You're disarming people. You can do melee. You can blow up, explosive gas tanks. And basically the story, because it's an origin story of James Bond, it's him joining MI6 and getting his license to kill. So he joins and he has to prove himself. So you don't have the ability to shoot whoever you want. So instead, as soon as somebody draws their gun on you, since you're a trainee of the 00 program, you get a temporary license to kill right then and there. So as soon as somebody detects you and draws their gun, you get like a thing on the top that just says license to kill. And you, in that time, in that sequence, you're able to take enemies out. So, you can go around and, just blow them away. But then you can also like do stuff like you think on your feet and improvise. So like, there was a guy that was like standing at the top of a catwalk on like an airport, and you get a running start and just basically tackle him and then use his body as a cushion as you drop down to the ground level. And then you can pick up his shotgun that he had and then keep going. So like a lot of improvisational stuff. And then it ends with a chase of this plane that's trying to take off of the airstrip, and your target's in that plane. So Bond has to like grab that, like the ladder truck that airports have and chase it, and like dodging all the debris that's flying at you because like the jet engines are going, and then board the plane and cause as much turbulence as possible by hacking the control mechanism. And then the plane starts going down and everybody abandons ship. So he has to jump out of the plane and catch somebody with a parachute before he hits the ground and then follow his target there.
Don't give away the entire game.
I was going to say, all I'm thinking about is this. All that thing is I'm thinking about that scene in Liar Liar at the end where he's on the ladder thing and he's up near the window. And then I was like, oh no, they made a James Bond Liar Liar crossover. That sounds actually really fun. Especially since it's going to force you to not just run and gun.
Yeah,
which, it can be fun.
Basically, what they said is like every other James Bond game is really good at certain games that have, or certain elements of Bond. Like whether it's like, all right, in this game, he's really charming, but like the action kind of sucks. In this one, like, oh, you're driving. Like there was a 007 racing game back on like PS2, I think. And so there's one that, and then like GoldenEye, like, yeah, there's the side objectives of like, don't kill any civilians, but like you could just run and gun through that game. As much as I love GoldenEye, like it wasn't like a true James Bond experience. With this, they're trying to capture every element of it. And the challenge that they focused on was having to go back and like they were digging into like, all right, well, we're going to create an all new version of James Bond. There's no actors that are really tied to Bond right now. So they were in this gap area where they were like, all right, well, we're going to do our own version of James Bond. That's why they did a reboot essentially of having this younger version. But then they had to be like, all right, well, the way that they researched the character of James Bond is they bought all the books. They watched all the movies, they read the comics, and they were like, all right, well, what are the defining traits? And they drilled in. They were like, all right, the main takeaway was he's a man who's defined by his experience, and so he knows what to do in every situation because he's been in every situation. And then they're like, well, if we're doing a young version, what happens to that character when you strip away all those experiences? So they were like, all right, well, he still takes risks, but they're not as calculated. They're more like reckless because he's young and he thinks he can pull it off. He's thinking on his feet, but he doesn't exactly know where he's going to land when he jumps out of a plane. Whereas like an older version, like you see with like Sean Connery, he's thought 20 steps ahead of what he's doing.
Do you come out of the lake with the decoy duck on your head? Is that in the game? You wear that around as like a fashion accessory, an unlockable achievement somewhere?
I mean, it would make sense because Hitman is known for including rubber ducks in their games. So it would make sense that IO would have a rubber duck in there somewhere. But I mean, you were asking about, I think, like a decoy duck. But yeah, it would make sense because
just walk into like an elegant party or something. He's still wearing the decoy. Hey, I worked my ass off to unlock that achievement. I'm wearing it the entire game.
So yeah, basically they're looking at like, all right, he's a little bit more reckless. He is, he has all of the traits of Bond. So like, he has that coldness that James Bond has, but he also has all that charm. But the difference with this version is it's not weaponized the way that like an older Bond has, where he's projecting all this charm. He is being cold in the moment and like, keeping cool under pressure. But he doesn't realize that he's doing it. He's kind of a little bit more like reckless with that as well. So they had to kind of redefine the character based on reading all of the material, all the source material, watching all the source material, and finding what their younger version of Bond would be like. And he is a little bit more talkative because he's younger, but like he's still, in all the stuff that I've seen, he does give off all of those Bond traits that you've come to expect from the character. And he's portrayed by Patrick Gibson, who most recently portrayed a young version of Dexter in Dexter Original Sin.
Mm-hmm.
So he's used to playing younger versions of iconic characters. But they, in all the conversations I had with the developers, I talked to a lot of the leadership over at IO Interactive when I was on the ground there. Every time I mentioned him, they seemed like they were blown away by the performance this guy gave.
That's cool. I actually wasn't like super sold on it because you're right. That last Bond game sucked. And like, I have such fond memories of playing GoldenEye that I don't think any really Bond games after have really been something I wanted to play. Hearing you talk about it actually makes me want to play this game, because the big story that came out, like, what was it, like a month or two ago when they were hyping this up again, was, oh, Lenny Kravitz is going to be in there. Lenny Kravitz is going to be in there. I was like, if you're talking about a side character with Lenny Kravitz so much, and that's the headline, something's wrong with this game. Like, something's gonna be bad about this.
It seemed like in talking to them, it is just like an antagonist for one of the areas.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, they hyped it up too much.
Was it feeling like Keanu in Cyberpunk?
Well, Keanu's much more impactful.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Keanu seems like he's much more like omnipresent in Cyberpunk than Lenny Kravitz's character Balma is going to be in.
He's also a better guitarist. Yeah, I said it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but I mean, one of your commenters pointing out some of the good Bond games. Yeah, Everything or Nothing was good. I enjoyed From Russia with Love for what it was, because that was Sean Connery reprising the role, which is a very weird thing. But Agent Under Fire, Nightfire were good. GoldenEye obviously was great.
One last question with the James Bond thing. Do they license the soundtrack music from the movies and stuff? Like, are you hearing
the Duran Duran one?
Oh, damn it. I was getting to that, but yes, it was that. And then, Paul McCartney's Live and Let Die and all that stuff in there. Do they have the music from the movies in the game too? Or is it completely...
It's going to be a completely different soundtrack, but there's rumors going around that they would not confirm this. I pressed as much as I could. They were like, we'll have an announcement hopefully in the future. And but like
this guy's just going to go tell Eric. We can't tell him.
The rumor is that
Cardi B.
They have Lana Del Rey.
Which, I mean,
Lana Del Rey, I think Lana Del Rey is fine. But I think that if she does end up being the vocalist behind the theme song that they do in this, I think that her voice is kind of tailor-made for kind of like the more sultry like style of James Bond. Yeah. I think they'll kind of pay homage to like the older Bond themes.
No, I need the Duran Duran versions of stuff, because when I went and saw them last month, they actually played that song, and I'm just like, oh my god, they're bringing out the hits.
Well, I saw Paul McCartney last year, and he played Live and Let Die, and then the meme happened where the stage exploded.
I know, they did the little background with Bond coming up, and they're shooting him, and they start going. I'm like, oh my god, yours was the worst movie, but I'm glad you like the song.
Are they going to give Lana some shit because she's appropriating British culture when usually all the main themes for James Bond were done by British artists?
Well, I mean, hey, we got Jack White,
Billie Eilish,
and Alicia Keys.
How about
Eilish did one, didn't she?
Did she? Oh,
I think Billie Eilish did one.
During the recent Bond,
like the last one,
franchise. Yeah, they opened it up more.
They've moved away from that.
All right, what else do we have?
Oh man, what else do we have? They just announced today a release date for this game. It's called The Adventures of Elliot: The Millennium Tales. They announced this last year. It's a Switch exclusive. I thought it was going to be
Elliot from E.T. It's like, you thought the first game was terrible. Wait for the second one.
The second video game crash incoming. But yeah, this is like kind of like, so I don't know if you've seen like the HD 2D games that Square Enix has been putting out, like Octopath Traveler, or
I love Octopath Traveler.
Live Alive, which is a remake of an old SNES game that never really came to the US. It's kind of like, pixel art, but like HD textures and like visuals and like kind of like parallax scrolling on a lot of things. So The Adventures of Elliot: The Millennium Tales is taking that HD 2D style and making basically Square Enix's version of a top-down Zelda game. And you get I think there's 7 or 8 different weapons. There's a bunch of different spells that you can cast. And then, you have a fairy companion. So if you need more Zelda comparisons there.
Hey, listen. But it's like a deep voice. It's like, oh, that's weird.
But yeah, it looks super cool. There's a demo out on Switch right now. You can check it out if you want to. It's been out for, I think, a year at this point. So it's been around.
I just saw this artwork. Look at this thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That literally just looks like like a Chrono Trigger kind of game, or like you said, Octopath.
Well, it's the same studio that did Octopath.
Oh, that's good. I haven't played the new one yet, but yes, I can't wait.
It looks like start-stop animation. Like I don't know. It's that weird thing where it's like the camera can focus here, but also can focus the background too, where film can't do that. It's either up front or up back.
Mm-hmm.
Looks very cool.
Well, they did that with that Zelda game where it's like, okay, we don't have the hardware to just do all the pixels and everything, so let's blur the outsides. So it gives you that depth of field with saving some of the graphic power that we need to actually make that front part look really good. I like that. That looks really cool. I didn't even know that.
Yes.
Also, there's one game that I do want to shout out before I run out of recommendations here. It came out late last year. I don't know if you've checked this out, Eric, but
is it called RV There Yet? Because I do play that game.
It is not called RV There Yet. I have heard about that though, and it does look very fun. Yes. Dispatch. Have you heard about this one?
Yes, yes. I have not played it though.
I was not excited for this game. Like the
artwork where they're all peeing at the urinal. I was like, all right, this looks weird. This might be for me.
So it's kind of in the style of the old Telltale games,
mm-hmm.
but they've gotten rid of the animation
annoying
style
okay.
that the Telltale games had, where it looked like just a bunch of like marionettes walking
almost
around
like
in the environment. And instead, it looks like a cartoon that you would watch on TV. Like it almost looks kind of like Invincible a little bit.
I was going to say it looked like Invincible. When I saw all the Dispatch stuff, I didn't realize it was a video game. I thought they were like advertising the newest season or something.
Yeah. So it's a superhero workplace comedy is the way that it's billed. And it has, the same narrative choice elements that you would get in a Telltale game like The Walking Dead or Telltale Batman or any of those games.
I love Wolf Among Us.
Oh. Wolf Among Us, that's a good one too.
Sequel.
So you go around and basically like you're like this universe. It's not licensed. It's not like Marvel or DC or anything. But you're like this universe's like Iron Man character, where like you're a little guy who like goes around in a big mech and fights villains. And basically, like at the beginning of the game, your mech gets destroyed, but you still want to help out. So you're like, all right, well, I have no superpowers. What if I just worked for this agency that like in this world, people can pay a subscription service to this superhero agency. And if you have a problem, you can call them up. They're almost like the AAA of superheroes, where you're like, hey, like somebody's robbing my restaurant. Can you send somebody out here? And they'll dispatch superheroes. So your character steps into the role of the dispatcher, and you have a team of reformed supervillains at your disposal, and they're trying to reform them into heroes. And so like, they have egos, they have like strengths and weaknesses, different powers. So there's a dispatch mini game that comes up. And at first I was like, man, is there a way I can skip this? Because I do not want to play this dispatch mini game. As soon as I got into it, I was like, oh, I love this. I would play an endless version of this if I could, because basically you have like 6 or 7 heroes that are at your disposal, and you get a call like, hey, I'm over here. My cat's stuck in a tree. So you're like, all right, well, that's a 1 hero job. I'm going to send somebody who can fly to go get this cat out of a tree. Then it's like, hey, this supervillain who uses fire is attacking a bank. And so you have to be like, all right, well, I need somebody who's like, not going to get burned, and maybe somebody who uses water to attack him. So you have to send them, and then they operate on cooldown. They can get injured on the job. So you have to be like cognizant of like, all right, this person's like out of commission for a little bit. I got to let them recover. And then like the whole time they're also, reformed supervillains. So they have these egos and they don't want to go on certain things. Like if they think like one of the jobs is below them, they will refuse to go. And then you have to choose somebody else to take it on. And if you don't get to the jobs in time, the thing that happens passes and you don't get points for that. And, you get strikes against you for that. So it's like kind of like real-time strategy with the heroes you have at your disposal. And they all have like passive effects, and like there's like one guy who's like basically like that universe's Superman, but he's going through a breakup. So he like you're like, all right, we're gonna put him on the team to get him back on his feet, but so like he's like good at everything. But if for whatever reason he fails or he doesn't finish the job in time, he gets super depressed and he refuses to go on any calls. So like that's a team member down for like the near future. and it's a really great story. They do a thing that I am wishing that Marvel and DC would get back to, which is focusing on superheroes fighting crime instead of just it always being a world-ending threat. And there is like an overarching villain and everything, but like the core gameplay of this is you are dispatching superheroes to go fight street-level crime, and it feels so good to do that again, because like I said, like it's even Spider-Man in the MCU is fighting multiversal threats and like people coming at him from other universes. And it's like, man, I remember when Spider-Man was just going around and like fighting one villain again that was going around and causing havoc in his neighborhood.
Well, that's what the next one is.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, but we'll see. But yeah, it does what a lot of superhero media has just like completely neglected over the last like 5-6 years.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people really upset that the Nintendo version censored it a lot. So
Yeah,
I think
it
if I'm
did.
going to play it, I'm going to play it on another console
You
or
should,
Steam
yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Because it is a mature game for sure. There is plenty of nudity, both male and female. So
Ooh, you got Eric on the male part.
And so Nintendo did not want that on their system. So they any visual vulgarity, whether it is female, male, or even a middle finger, has a permanent black bar across it on the Switch version.
Here's my problem
I'd
with
want to
that
play the
Nintendo
game
thing.
if everything is just black barred, like you're not seeing most of the screen. I'm like, I think that's the version I want.
You
to
can't
play.
actually see anything.
Yeah.
My problem with that thinking is that they put Cyberpunk on there as a launch title for the Switch 2, which lets you put genitalia on your character. And I know because I bought it when it was like discounted on accident for $15 last month. And yeah, it's all there. So why can't you do that for nothing?
Yeah,
The way they pick and choose is really
it is
frustrating.
very selective. From what I understand, it sounds like it might have been like a little bit of a compromise with like them getting prominent placement on the eShop. Like they didn't want, even though the eShop is just flooded with like hentai puzzle games and like anime girl like dating games. Yeah, exactly. Has Nintendo seen their eShop? But there's probably more to it as to why it's censored. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's one of my top 3 games of last year. And
Huge voice cast too. Lots of people.
Aaron Paul, Jeffrey Wright, lots of like other like mainstay actors like Laura Bailey is in it. Travis Willingham.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great Matt Mercer.
I love Mercer. Mercer's great in everything.
He plays the main antagonist in this, and he's fantastic. He's great in everything.
Wait, Matt Mercer from Upright Citizens Brigade? No, different guy.
I think so. Yes.
At this point, I think he's Matt Mercer from Critical Role.
Critical Role plays
Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in Overwatch.
Yeah,
I mean, if you need a voice actor, Matthew Mercer is in it. He's like, Baker, and like he's just a staple in every video game you've ever played.
And Giddles is asking about the Overwatch announcements, but yeah, there were a ton of Overwatch
I have my
announcements.
thoughts on that one. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a step in the right direction. It's a little bit late, but yeah, like they're basically overhauling the entire game.
They're starting over
on Tuesday. They're taking away the 2. It's just going to be called Overwatch again. They're starting a new seasonal structure that's going to be more story focused. It's going to tell one continuous arc over the course of 6 seasons. There's going to be like story driven events in the game. There's going to be
8 new characters over the next year.
No, 5 new characters on Tuesday, and then 5 additional throughout 2026. So there's going to be 10 new characters over the next year. Jeez. So they're going big. And I mean, I haven't played Overwatch in probably 4 years. I used to play.
I played on lunch today.
Is this in response to getting their ass kicked by Marvel Rivals?
It probably is, honestly. Like, because Marvel Rivals really ate Overwatch's lunch, right? Like
it took their whole concept and said, "Hey, let's put our bigger characters on there," and made it more enjoyable for everybody else.
They were consistently releasing new characters. Like it seemed like every week at this point. Yeah, so that's why Overwatch had to do that.
I'm excited for the Overwatch overhaul. I will definitely jump in next week when it hits, because I'm a completely lapsed player. I reviewed Overwatch 2. I liked it well enough, right? Like Overwatch 1 got a 10 out of 10. It's a rare thing to get a 10 out of 10 from Game Informer. Overwatch 2 was still good, I think. I gave it an 8.75. But it's a downgrade for sure. And
it's constantly evolving. It's like they'll take something that they think works and it doesn't work as well, so they overhaul it. And then they're doing a complete reset. They have one of the new characters out now for a play test up until Tuesday. That's why I got on today at lunch. I like her. She's going to be one of my favorite characters to play with. But yeah, it's wild that you would get like one new character every other season, and they were kind of piggybacking over what they wanted to do, and now you're getting 5 immediately. Yeah, and that's wild. I'm excited though. It's one of the few games I play with my kids because my son and my daughter both are way into it. So like we're always playing Overwatch.
Yeah, I put over 1,000 hours into Overwatch 1. I'm excited to have an excuse to jump back in.
Mm-hmm.
What, braggart of how little life that I have? Because I'm
way
to be lame.
We all don't do anything at this point of our lives. If we're not working because we have to, we're back here at night. This is our social life. This is what we're doing.
I remember the first Overwatch was weird. Overwatch was weird because like I got into the beta and I didn't know anything about this game. I played the beta for the first one and I was like, this game's fantastic. And the second they released it, I was hooked. Like I play Overwatch since.
I played the first one. I didn't really care for the second one, and I'd lost interest in all that stuff. And I keep looking at Marvel Rivals. I know many people that play it. I look at it, I go, okay. I go, that seems like too much commitment for me. I'm not gonna. I have a hard time. I know a lot of games have this element, but I have a hard time with games that are their sole purpose is just to grind. You know, and I know people love it. I mean, we got into Fortnite accidentally in the fall because of the Simpsons, and I still hung around and I'm still playing it. But yeah, it's the battle royale and then a grind to unlock things and doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's insanity, is what it is. But I don't know. It looks good. It just seems like such an overhaul for me to get into that. So I just watch from afar. Same thing with
one of the new characters is the jetpack cat. You got to get into it again.
Yeah, they've been teasing the jetpack cat for years.
I know.
Do you have anything else, Brian? Because otherwise, we have something for you whenever you're done.
I mean, GTA 6, but you don't need to know anything about that. Nobody really knows anything about it anyway, aside from what's been
apparently,
out there
if you're in the
months.
comments of anything on social media, we got this before GTA. I just immediately write, you're a hack. Stop. Find something else to do with your life. Don't post this comment in every TMZ post. You're an idiot.
Here we go. Are you going to get married before GTA 6?
I mean, I hope not, because we're getting married in spring 2027. So if it goes that long, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Nice.
She's going to put up with living in your frozen tundra of Minneapolis. She's going to put up with that.
I mean, she was here before I was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's been here for 26 years. I've only been in Minneapolis for 11.
All right. So she's a keeper. We get it. All right. Good for you. I'm happy for you, sir. Okay, Brian, we want to introduce you to something that we've been doing on the show periodically. So you're familiar with the game Escape the Backrooms, correct?
No.
You're not?
Well, let's end the segment. We're done. No, I'm just kidding.
It might as well be. All right. Escape the Backrooms became this phenomenon on Roblox many, many years ago, and then wound up spinning into its own entity.
They're making a movie.
There's another version of it. They made a 4-person co-op game that you can play and all this stuff. It's a psychological horror. It's an atmospheric kind of thing. It's essentially you're glitching out of reality and you're in some weird alternate dimension where everything is not like hell, but hell-ish, where it's stale, it's boring, it's confusing, it's purposely trying to mentally fuck with you. And then there's entities that are in these realms that try to kill you. It's pretty much an acid test. Somebody got really high one night, didn't sleep, and came up with this game, and then managed to actually write down legible notes and turned it into what it is. So because of that, it spawned off a lot of other games that were tapping into this psychological horror genre. We found a place that started coming up with concepts. Instead of trying to make the game, they would make concepts. And like, this might be a good concept for a game, whether it be something that happens to you in your real life or a job. You get a job somewhere and they're like, it's always this, you're in this situation. You don't know what's going on. The only way to survive is follow these rules. And we've done this. This might be, I think, the 4th installment that we're doing here, Jordan.
Oh boy.
Give or take, yeah.
And the concepts become more and more bizarre. Not just this, like, it's very mundane settings, but the rules to follow make zero sense. And a lot of times they're hilarious. Remember the one when you're working at a Wendy's and like if the ice cream machine turned on by itself, it's like, do not look at the ice cream machine, run into the office, somebody is there. It's
so many weird rules.
That kind of thing. So we have a bunch of new scenarios here.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to let you pick the first one to go. We're going to pitch you these concepts, and you tell us from your professional journalism perspective what you think of these potentially being a successful game. So here are the concepts we have. Working at a Spirit of Halloween, working at a Westgate Mall, walking into an elevator, going to a Mr. Beast event.
Oh God,
that sounds horrible already.
Waking up in the Upside Down.
I mean, if you're going straight forward, it's got to be waking up in the Upside Down. But I'm going to choose getting into an elevator.
Getting into elevator, okay.
That's already a little bit creepy, but like routine at the same time. So like, there's a lot of ways you could go with that.
All right. Here's this game concept. Let's check it out.
Opens to a cave instead of your floor. Don't panic. You've entered the elevator roulette. Before you step out.
Wait a minute. Hold on. It's not including Brian in the scene. Huh. Okay. We'll edit for the rest of the show here. We'll try it again. Here we go. Let's see if this one
works. If your elevator opens to a cave instead of...
It's not doing anything. Damn it. Try it again.
All that build up.
And with your guys' subscription, we'll get the money to get this right one day.
Well, with your subscription, you'll see the edited version like this never happened. So here we go.
Early.
Try it again.
Elevator opens to a cave instead of your floor. Don't panic. You've entered the elevator roulette. Before you step out, follow these 3 rules. Rule 1. If the caves are glowing bright green, you're safe for now. You can drink the purple Gatorade, eat the fast food, and rest. But when the light shifts to red, you must leave. The entities are coming. If you're not inside the elevator within 15 minutes, it will leave without you. Rule 2. If the caves are already blood red when the doors open, the elevator will shut off. Don't panic. There's another elevator hidden somewhere in the tunnels. Keep moving, stay quiet, and don't linger in one spot for more than a minute. Rule 3. If you hear something crawling on the ceiling, those are the Grinweavers. Humanoid entities with too many limbs and too wide a smile. Do not look at them. Do not let them see you breathe. If they find you, there won't be another elevator waiting.
All right, Brian, what do we think of that?
I mean, yeah, sure. What am I supposed to
I gotta say, that was
think
probably
of
the
that?
creepiest one that I think we've watched.
That is
Most
true.
of them were just like vaguely creepy, like, oh,
And
that guy looks
over-exaggerated.
weird, but these were like, there's creatures in this one.
I like the fact it's like if the lights are green and it's okay, you may drink the Gatorade and the fast food that are just laying on the floor.
I always leave these going, why are these things here? Why is there why is there purple Gatorade in like McDonald's stuck in a green cave?
Yeah. Again, these are just treatments. These are the pitch ideas for these kind of games. Do you think this could be successful or not?
I mean, yeah, like the stuff that's successful today. Like, I don't know. Like, I can tell you what's a good game and what's a bad game. I am much worse at predicting what's going to be successful in the year 2026 because stuff like that and like, Roblox, I would never like say like, oh, that's going to be super popular. But like, here we are.
I literally played a game, I think last week, called A Game About Digging a Hole.
Yeah, I have that.
It's fantastic and stupid at the same time. And I sunk so much time into it and beat it. And then I go, really? That was what happens? And then I started over because I wanted to see how fast I could dig the hole. Like, it's so stupid.
Hey, I reviewed Power Wash Simulator.
I love
play
Power
that.
Wash Simulator. I had to play that the other day.
I don't have the second one, but I have the first one. I do enjoy it.
Fantastic.
I also have a supermarket simulator, which I'm about to start, where you build your own supermarket. Yes, this is where our lives are at right now.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. Another pitch here. So we have, where did my list go? We have Spirit of Halloween, Westgate Mall, Mr. Beast event, or the Upside Down. Where do you want to go?
Let's go to the Mr. Beast event.
Okay, here we go.
offers you for a giveaway game, and then you go there, but notice that there are no cameras, no crew, and just Mr. Beast standing alone smiling at you, do not ask where everyone went. He hates questions. If he tilts his head while smiling, that means you're in the secret giveaway, and it will end horribly if you don't follow the rules. Rule 1. He'll hand you a red mystery box. If it feels light, open it immediately and eat whatever is inside. If it feels heavy, drop it on the floor and say, "Thank you, Mr. Beast," 3 times. If you say it wrong even once, he'll remove one of your social media accounts permanently. Rule 2. He will draw a perfect circle on the floor with red tape. He'll tell you to stand inside it while he throws stones. If you step out even once, he'll shout, "You lose," and remove one of your family members. But if you survive 30 seconds inside the circle without flinching, he'll smile and let you continue. Rule 3. Mr. Beast will take you in front of a Lamborghini, and he will say, "Last to remove the hand wins the Lamborghini," while the Lamborghini get heated over time. You have to bear the hate for at least 2 minutes.
Bear the hate?
All right. That's the better concept. I know it meant heat, but you can bear the hate.
Bear the hate.
Wow.
Even though there will not be any participants, don't remove your hand before 2 minutes. Rule 4. If Mr. Beast suddenly says "last to leave wins," freeze. Do not move. If you move even 1 inch, he will trap you inside a challenge thumbnail forever. People will see you, but no one will click on you. If you follow all the rules correctly, he'll smile, clap twice, and let you leave. But if he hands you a second mystery box, just accept that you're not going home today.
This may be one of the best concepts we've watched. That's so
just
funny.
accept you're not going home today.
I mean, that's too long for a show title, but I'm really kind of gunning for Bear the Hate.
Bear the Hate was fantastic.
But out of context,
it's so great.
Okay, I'll write it down.
I do like that the AI recreation of Mr. Beast completely accurately captures the dead eyes behind his smile.
It really, yeah. He must have filmed this. This is not AI. So bad.
So
I like that one. That was my favorite.
This gets pitched at a meeting. You think that gets the green light, the big thumbs up?
I mean, I'm sure it does, because corporate executives would just be like, "Oh, Mr. Beast, yeah, go for it."
Okay.
So funny.
All right. So that's a go. We have Spirit of Halloween, Westgate Mall, and the Upside Down.
I mean, I guess Spirit Halloween.
All right. Brian, congratulations. You just got a job working at a Spirit of Halloween.
You've been hired as part of the overnight setup crew for the new Spirit Halloween store opening at the old Graybridge Mall. The store is temporary, the building is not. Your shift runs from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. You'll be working alone most nights, setting up racks, unpacking decorations, placing animatronics. It's simple work as long as you follow the rules. Rule number 1, if any costume on the rack changes positions between when you unload it and when you turn around, leave it where it moved to. Do not try to hang it back. Don't stare at it for too long. Rule number 2, at exactly 2:03 a.m., the animatronics may activate, even if unplugged. Stand still. Do not move until they finish their program sequence. Do not applaud. Rule number 3, if you find a mask that doesn't match any stock photo or isn't listed in the inventory, put it in box 17A, marked returns. Seal the box with duct tape. Do not check it again. Rule number 4, if you hear footsteps coming from the old food court entrance, close the back door immediately and lock it. Do not check who's there, even if you hear your name. Rule number 5, at 4:55 a.m., you'll hear the store's PA system turn on and play faint Halloween music. That's your cue to clock out. Leave through the emergency exit near seasonal decor. Do not use the main entrance, not after the music starts. Good luck.
That's what I forgot about some of these videos. The weird, obscure times that things happen. And then it always ends with, well, good luck. You know, like this is, what was it? Those Mission Impossible memos that he would get. This message will self-destruct.
Right.
And you got to throw it before it blows up, in the car or in your hand or something like that. What do you think about working at a Spirit of Halloween?
I mean, that seems like the least eventful one so far. But yeah, I mean, it seems fine.
It's the weird mundane activities mixed with the weird, not extraterrestrial, but like
supernatural
things. It's like if you find a mask that doesn't match anything on the stock list, pack it into this box for returns. Do not look at the box. Like who packs it up and said, you know what, I'm going to go back and look at that mask again.
It reminded me of like a Goosebumps book. Like that could have been a Goosebumps story right there.
That's
okay.
So weird.
We'll send
I still
it over
like
to
the Mr. Beast one.
I think I still have
Stein.
I think I still have R.L. Stein's email. I'll send it over to him and be like, hey, here's an idea. Feel free to
go check out that interview that you did with R.L. Stein. That was good.
All right, we're down to working at the Westgate Mall or waking up in the Upside Down.
I mean, we just did kind of a mall adjacent one, so let's do Upside Down.
All right, here we go. Here's the Upside Down.
Suddenly, in the middle of the night because of freezing cold, but sky looks as red as lava, then you are not in your house anymore. You are in the Upside Down, and here your only goal is to survive and find the biggest gate. So get up from the bed and hide under the bed while following these rules. 1. Never ever make a sound. The Demodogs in the Upside Down have sensitive hearing, which is directly connected to the brain of Vecna. They will act like spies. 2. If you spot a figure looming in the sky, that's not Vecna himself, but the body he controls. Don't bother it and fight back with whatever burns brightest. Fire, sparks, crackers. 4. There's a flash of lightning every 7 seconds, so make to keep a track of time when you go out. Move only when the sky lights up, and use each strike as your moment to act. 5. Know your favorite song. Keep singing, humming, and remembering it, as that is the only thing that can push you back to your senses in the real world.
Okay. This seems like when a corporate entity gets too involved with the creative process. It's like, hey, we spent a lot of money. This is a big thing. We just got the rights to that. What's that other game that we were working on? Yeah, just reskin it with this property. Put it all in there. But that doesn't make any sense. I don't care. We're spending a lot of money. That's what it seems like.
That felt like the corporatized version of this concept for sure.
No, look, it's just like those other games. It's crazy, weird stuff. And it's like, no, it seems...
That just seemed like a survival guide for like how to survive the Upside Down. Like not actually like, hey, here's some crazy stuff that's going to happen.
Yeah. So you already took the TV show and you're just turning it into there's nothing creative in this.
Well, I'm disappointed by that one.
Yeah. That one I think gets scrapped. And finally, here's you working at the Westgate Mall.
Finally.
You and your friend have officially been hired as the night security team for Westgate Mall, a building that's been shut down for years, but somehow refuses to stay empty. Your pay is $640 per shift. Follow these rules if you actually plan on seeing sunrise. Rule 1.
See, it's so dystopian. It's like, you think you're going to get out of this job alive, follow these rules.
Actually plan on seeing sunrise. Rule 1. You two must separate. The mall stays quiet only when both wings are being watched. If you stick together, the cameras start catching movement in the areas you're not covering. Split up, stay on radio, and don't switch sections. Rule 2. Avoid any store playing music. There's no power in this building, so if a dark storefront starts leaking a song, you keep walking. Do not stop. Whatever's inside reacts when it thinks you're listening. Rule 3. Don't acknowledge the food court shadows. After 3 a.m., extra shadows appear under the tables. They don't belong to you, your partner, or anything living. If one drags itself toward you, stand still. Moving only makes it close in faster.
All right, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
If you just see shadows just showing up out of objects that don't have shadows and it's trying to crawl at you, it's bad enough.
Just looks like malls now.
Yeah, it's bad enough that you took this job and went into the abandoned mall at night.
At exactly 5:59 a.m., head straight to the main entrance. Just collect your money and step outside without turning around. And if your partner doesn't make it out, well, bad luck, I guess.
Whatever.
Just because of the ending, I give that the green light.
Okay.
If your partner doesn't make it out, well, bad luck, I guess.
I mean, that's all it takes now. I mean, look, there are very creative and well thought out games out there. Amazing controls, gameplay, artwork, like an Expedition 33. Is that the name? The French game?
Yeah, Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Yeah. I mean, game, like even if you play just looking at the game, it's like, wow, that's amazing. But there's the other side of the gaming industry. It's like, let's just throw anything against the wall and see what sticks. It's not overly expensive to produce some low level games now. Let's just throw it all out there and see how it does. If it does well, then we'll put more funding into it. But these concepts, some are better than others, but I don't think any of them would, in day and age, there's somebody out there. It's like, oh, I can make a quick buck off of this. We'll do that.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of examples of that on Steam, especially where it's just like, oh, this is a really weird concept. And then you look at it and it's like, this is in like the top 100 charts across like all of Steam for like 3 months now. And like,
I played Date Everything, where you literally just date a stapler.
Yep.
It's just the weirdest concept, but I was like, this is kind of funny.
He does it in real life too.
It's true. It's true. Just easier.
All right. Well, that's it for this round of those AI horror games. Brian, thank you for sitting through that and being a part of that. And coming on back on the show. It's been a long time, and we're happy for your recent engagement. We're happy for the success that you guys are finding with Game Informer. Let's give out your information for people to check out all your work and everything that you're doing.
Yeah, sure. So you can follow me on Instagram or Blue Sky at Brian P. Shea. You can also subscribe to Game Informer magazine, gameinformer.com/subscribe. That is in the continental US. You can get the physical magazine. You can get digital worldwide. And then you can also find Game Informer in newsstands across the world, but mostly in the US as well. And then my podcast, the All Things Nintendo podcast, hits every single Friday. It's also Patreon supported if you feel like supporting me in that venture.
What do you get for the Patreon stuff? I didn't know that. I watch your stuff on YouTube and I see your shorts and stuff pop up, but I didn't know the Patreon. What do you get for that?
The big thing is the access to the community Discord, which gives we're going to be doing a community night actually tomorrow night. We're going to be playing some Kirby Air Riders. But nice. Then that's the lowest tier. But then there's also early and ad-free episodes, one tier up, and then shout outs at the end of every show at the top tier. I actually tried to remove the top tier because I was originally doing another podcast every single week. And then when Game Informer came back, I just didn't have the time. So I was like, I don't want to charge you guys $10 a month for just the shout outs. And everybody was like, no, please keep that. We want to keep doing it. I'm like, all right, fine. We'll keep the $10 tier.
And then it's 15 minutes to end the show with all the shout outs that you have.
The $5
like
tier,
an in memoriam.
Sweet spot. It does feel like an in memoriam at times, but no, I'm very, very grateful for all the people that support me on Patreon, all the people that listen on Spotify, YouTube. There's video versions on Spotify and YouTube, audio versions everywhere else.
Well, and I was glad you were able to keep it going too, especially when Game Informer did kind of fold that first time around. You kind of just didn't know what you were going to do with it and how you were really going to approach it. So it was nice that not only did Game Informer come back, but you were able to keep this going. And I do listen every week. I haven't listened to the newest episode yet. I know you're doing some Mario Brothers updates and 007. So it's on my list. I haven't had the time yet. But
yeah, you'll hear some of the same stuff about 007 that you heard on this podcast. So
I'll just fast forward. It's fine.
But yeah, we have a jam-packed episode coming tomorrow because there was that Nintendo Partner Direct today.
That's today.
We got the review of Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, and then had my coworker on to talk about. He went to New York, I think last week, and got to play a bunch of the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 games. So he's giving his impressions on all those. So lots of stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to need to know how they were able to put Indiana Jones on the actual game cart when I keep being told that game keys are the way to go. Like,
yeah, I don't know
what magic did this company put into that. So
well, I think Cyberpunk is also on the cartridge itself. So like it's
doable.
Some of them just know wizardry, I'm convinced. Like, how does Tears of the Kingdom run on a Switch 1? I will never understand that.
They just cut out a lot of the levels in the middle, so you just go from the beginning to the ending, and that's just on you to figure out how.
Okay, that makes more sense then.
Yeah, they got to save room on those things.
You have to download half the game.
All right, Brian, thank you very much, my friend. We will see you hopefully soon with more gamer updates, and all the best to you, my pal.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Quick, before you go,
what's up?
We've been putting the old archives up for the membership here on the YouTube channel.
Oh, nice.
And you've been doing this show for 14 years, and I'm sorry that you have been, but you've been on the show for 14 years, and I knew you a couple years before that. And your first appearance on the show, you're going through it, and I'm waiting for the end, and then it caught me. You weren't at Game Informer at that point.
No. No, I was
the video game writers.
Yeah, my old site that I ran from 2010 to 2014. Was what I was promoting. Then I think I was in New York for the Wii U launch when I came on the show for the first time back at the Sirius XM building.
Yeah,
and it was Big O and Dukes in there with me. So yeah, and then I think Dave might have crashed the show at the end, if I recall correctly.
Oh, from Ron and Fez?
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know. A lot of those years are blurring together, like I said at this point. So, but yeah, 14 years you've been doing this show, and we're very much appreciated that you still remain a friend, and you're thriving in your industry, where a lot of us are still stammering around, trying to figure out, like, well, what do we do next? But you're still around here, and we do appreciate that. So all the best to you, my friend. We'll talk.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thanks so much for having me back. Like 14 years, I mean, there's no guest spot gig that is reliable like that. So really appreciate you having me on whenever you need somebody to talk video games.
I'll talk video games every day.
I know he just doesn't stop, and I'm like,
never stop.
Once in a while, whatever. All right, but take care, Brian. We'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks so much, guys.
Bye. He's too good looking. His Instagram is aggravating because he posts food that I won't eat, which is fine. It looks fantastic. But then he's always posting very handsome selfies of himself or mirror shots. And I'm like, he can do that. If any other guy is doing that and doesn't look remotely as good looking as him, you're going to get shit on in the comments. But
be like, I could wear that. Okay. I could wear that jacket if I lost a whole, 7th grader's worth of weight. Why not?
I can have that Colgate smile that you can see the little sparkle, even though it's not an animated GIF. It's a still photo. I don't know how he pulls that off. All right.
My favorite part is he's still in the waiting room, just listening to us fawn over his hot good looks.
I know he's
like, I'm not leaving yet.
He's like, yeah,
record this.
No, guys, more. Come on, give me more.
Keep coming.
All right, we want guest to guest. We do need to take a break and probably go to the bathroom. When we come back, segment 2, television, movies, streaming updates, and a whole bunch more. We'll be right back.
More, it's Eric Nagel.
It's Eric Nagel.